Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, the one and only Elohim of Israel. I want to say shalom and blessings to all my brothers and sisters, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the service of Elohim, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, our Mashiach came, who is overall Elohim blessed. And no, I'm not reading that from a prompter. I know that by heart. And every Israelite, every so-called Negro, black person, all over the world, not only just in America, no matter where you are, you should know that by heart because it pertains to you. It pertains to us and us only. Peace and blessings to everybody listening in, not many in the chat yet. Got my love in the chat. Shibriya, always a blessing. We got the y'all, Yahoo, shalom sis. Good to see you in the chat. Hope y'all doing good and well. Sister Zuriya, shalom and blessings. Hope you're doing well, sis. It's we in the summertime, so it's hot, you know what I mean, and everybody's winding down and relaxing and just sort of getting ready to deal with the upcoming week, the challenges. You know, we got a lot going on in the world, particularly, you know, right here in this country. We got a lot going on. We're gonna be dealing with free Karmelo, the Karmelo Anthony trial. Sister Regina in the chat. Shalom, sis. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We last year, I don't know, you know, if y'all remember last year I did a video titled Free Karmelo Anthony. So this will be part 2. And in the first one, you know, this was when everything was fresh, when it first happened. I already seen the play from the jump. I remember when it first happened, and my wife showing me about it. You know, she always showing me different things and sending me clips and all this stuff. And I'm gonna get ready to make use of some of this, all of it really, because it all pertains to us, and it's all proven what we know in terms of the judgment. I said before, once the 400 years is up, we're gonna start seeing things ramp up. We're gonna start seeing judgments and different things, confusions, things getting stirred up. We're gonna start seeing these things ramp up more and more as the time go on until we up out of here. But last year, my wife, she came to me and she showed me this, and when I listened to it, you know, I heard the typical narrative that everybody was reciting. You know, a young black dude brought a knife to track meet. They got into an altercation and end up stabbing a white kid. When she showed me that, I said to myself, I said, I need to see more information. You understand? I need to see more information. I'm not really the type to come to a conclusion quickly unless it's something that I can see from the jump. You know, if I can see it or sense it, then I might come to a conclusion. May or may not be right at times, but you know, most times I have to play out the details to see what's going on. So that's what I did. And I did a video, and in the video I pointed out how the media likes to frame things. When certain events happen and they want us to perceive it a certain way, they frame things a certain way. They word things a certain way. It's called wordplay. And they do this because most people are not privy to wordplay. Number one. Number two, this was a ripe situation to play on the issue at hand within this society, the hate and the racism within this society. And so it was a complete play from the jump. They said that he well, when it first happened, this is what they initially said. They said that he was a murderer. They said he was a brutal murderer. They said he come from a broken family. They gave the usual stereotypes they give for any black person, black male in particular, fatherless household, wasn't raised right. These are the things they said from the jump before any details came out. Before any details came out, before we knew anything that we know now about this case, this is what they were pinning on him. They were criminalizing him from the jump because he was a young black man. Now we're gonna get into some parallels, some other cases and everything to prove that race is indeed the issue here. However, we want to keep something in mind. And that let me do this. Y'all know I don't let me see. We want to keep something in mind. Hold on. This is the thing we want to keep in mind. We want to keep in mind that in spite of these things, in spite of these injustices, all right, that the Most High is allowing this. All right. And I want to start out with that to set the tone, because we want to show you as we had this discussion. It's going to be an open panel. I'm gonna put the link out there. We're gonna look at some things, and as we had this discussion, you know, we're gonna get an understanding as to why these things is happening. We're gonna understand that this is not necessarily a bad thing in a sense. This is a setup in a way. This is a setup for us as so-called black people, Negroes, whatever you want to call it. We Israelites of the Bible. We know that. This is a setup for us to do what the Most High has been wanting us to do for a long time, which is cry out to him. A lot of people have been doing videos, and I'm still getting my stuff pulled up. A lot of people have been doing videos on this topic, some real good videos too, bringing out some good points and everything. And you know, I may mimic some of those highlights, you know, but a brother did a video not too long ago, and a couple of people did videos saying that they're trying to push us or bait us into a race war. This is something we got to realize. All right. They are trying to stir us up to do something. We have to understand that this is indeed a war. We are in a war zone. America is a war zone, and the war is happening on many fronts. For a long time, this society has been trying to ignore the fact that racism is an issue. And you even have some of our own people that will jump on this side and you know, act like racism is not a real thing, and we're just making excuses. And y'all know the usual backdrop. We making excuses, we lazy, we don't want to work, all this kind of stuff. Racism is a form of warfare against our people in this nation. Why do I say that? It's because we are not able to use that form of warfare in return against them. Racism is a power dynamic. In order to be a racist, you have to be pro your own first. You have to have a foot in or a head in on the resources and the opportunities. That's what racism is about in this nation. It's about a particular group of people having first dibs on everything good and leaving the rest to everybody else. But when it comes to us, there's a systemic effort to keep things from coming to us and to keep things from happening to us. Now, like I said, that's tragic, right? However, we have to be mindful of why this is happening. And I'm not justifying anything. I'm just trying to set the tone. The Most High said he's going to deal with them because they furthered our affliction, right? But I'm trying to set the tone for us because we are in a war. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to step up to that. And we need to fight back. But the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. It's not about, if and when and should we fight. It's about how we fight. How should we fight? By what means should we fight? And that's what we're going to be dealing with as we, deal with this case. We're going to look at some things, but let's look at this real quick. It's Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm reading from the Hebrew Israelite scriptures. I want to give a shout out to the Yeshua ministry for the Hebrew Israelite scriptures. I want to thank Brother Jediah Malik and his family and those working with him to put these works together for our people so that we can read our scriptures from our own narrative and from our own direction in the way that we know things are supposed to be. I'm reading from Jeremiah chapter 30. And I want to start here at 10. It says, "Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob." All right, hold on. It says, "Fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said Yahuwah, the Most High, the Lord. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from far, and thy seed from the land of their captivity." All right, so off top, we get a word of comfort and reassurance from prophecy, because that's what it's for. "Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel." So in spite of what we seeing now, he's saying, don't be afraid, don't fear. All right. I really believe in my heart, even though the young brother is going through what he's going through, that he's protected. This situation, like I said, parallels a lot of things scripturally. When you think about Joseph's situation, when you think about David and Goliath and the conflict between them, I'm talking about down to a T, right? Goliath, we know he was what you would call a giant, huge in continence, in stature rather, I meant huge in stature. Some people, you got even some theologians who even go as far as measuring his height. They'll tell you he's about 11, 12 feet tall, right? Goliath had brothers, right? And when you look at that situation, that parallels this situation with our brother, our young brother. David was a young dude. You know what I'm saying? Little pipsqueak, little young dude. And you listen to how they describe Karmelo. They keep talking about he has a small frame and everything. So we'll get into that a little later. Oh, Brother Yash was on. He just left. He'll probably be back. But this is giving us comfort. He's saying, "I'm going to save thee from afar and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid." This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to push us with fear. They're trying to bait us into making a move so that they can come with something that they think is going to be that ultimate blow. But the Most High is going to disappoint that. What's up, brother Yash? Can you there? I don't know if you're talking. You muted if you
Nah,
there.
yeah, I'm here, man. You always catch me trying to getting started is always rough for me. Getting this thing together. But yeah, I'm here. Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, man. So I'm just getting started here, but I'm um I'm letting the family know that in spite of what's going on, we got to stay mindful of what the scriptures is saying. And we have a word of reassurance, right? Why is all of this happening? Why is this happening to our young brother? You know what I mean? Why is this happening to us as a people? Why do we have police shooting in cars with babies in them? You see what I mean? Over some diapers. I thought there was a process you went through for situations like that. I didn't know that meant taking a life over a pack of diapers. But this is how extreme this is. We have young teenage brothers, getting shot in the back, running. And the perpetrators, not being convicted. Anywhere you go, according to the law, you shoot somebody in the back, that's an automatic L on your end. How do we not see a conviction in that? Why are we still seeing lynchings and shit from the 60s? I mean, not the 60s, but the 40s and 30s. Why they put our young brother through a kangaroo court? I don't care what nobody say, man. That was the most hillbilliest redneck court I ever seen in my life. In a hillbilly redneck town. But what you think, bro? I'm reading this Jeremiah 30. Go ahead and break it in, bro. I know you got some thoughts.
Yeah, well, I was talking about I was thinking on this similar vein earlier in this afternoon, and I was talking to my cousin, man, and it was basic. See, it was basically about this. All this stuff that we see going on. I was really basically talking about how Esau is a mess, and it got us in all these wars, all this commotion, all this kind of confusion going on. I mean, uh, you, the nations against nation. I mean, we are literally at the time. I mean, totally, literally at the time. Whenever these mugs say peace and safety, good and darn well they're gonna start bombing. You know, usually the next day. This last one they telegraphed it because it was on the last Monday. They said they gonna do this. I guess memorandum of understanding.
Huh.
Well, he called it a peace treaty. But either way, so I knew I had all week
Hmm.
to get gas. Make sure I get me some gas before Friday because they was gonna bomb before they do that other thing. Basically, so it's all this chaos and confusion going on just to take everybody's mind off the fact of who we are as a people.
Yep.
They're all in agreement to make sure that we never find out who we are. They'll blow up the whole world, get us, and see
Hold up. When you say who we are, you mean indigenous Indians or
that we are the children of the Most High.
okay?
We are the remnants of the 12 tribes of Israel, the
Okay.
true ones. You know what I mean? And everything else in between that is thrown that is being thrown against us is to make sure that we don't find out and they don't find out. Because see, it's at the end of the day, they gotta come and confess. They must confess. They must confess who we are. And like I say, they'll blow up the whole world. And they hitting us with all these little, like with this Carmela incident, with this sham trial,
Mm-hmm.
because during that time we done had a brother, and to me, they acting like, to me it looked like they trying to get some kind of revenge for Chud the Builder. If you asking me, that's what it looked like, because everything where we're the victim, they get off. When they the victim, they trying to punish us to the extreme extent of the law and make it so obvious and so outrageous, because they want us to get out there, because they want a reason to try to eradicate us. See, the Most High has put this spirit. If y'all don't see it, it's unity coming
Yeah.
amongst our people. It may be not unity in thought. It may not be unity in belief, or unity in, you know, everybody want to be who they want to be, but he's giving us a oneness, and he's setting us apart, and he's causing them to recognize that we are different people,
Yeah.
and they know that they have to answer for the things that have been done against us. So their answer is to cast more confusion, to keep us from knowing who we are. Because at the end of the day, they got to come, they got to confess, they got to bow down, they got to take this beat down.
Indeed.
That's what it is.
Indeed. Brother Kadar, what's going on, man?
Shalom, shalom. I see y'all going there. Love the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Shalom, all praise to the Most High, to the 12 tribes of Israel, that are Negroes, to the brothers on the panels. And I love this topic right here. I don't love it because this is, they father, what they doing is messing their own self up, which, this is what they here to do. Zechariah 11:5 tells us that who possesses slay them hold themselves not guilty. They that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Their own shepherds pity them not. And we can see that who these people, that's our people, that's lawyers and judges and in criminal justice system in this country, they'll try to stick to the laws. They won't stick to what's going on. And if this was a other way around, a white guy Edomite killing an Israelite, let's call it what it is, we know good and well this Edomite would never went to prison.
Hmm. Yep.
Probably would never went to prison. 4 years, maybe 5 years, but not like what we see here.
And we got an example of that, right?
Yeah,
Got a
most
prime
definitely.
example of that. Sergio Mateo, peace. He say, problem is you're not who you claim to be. This is what I want you to do, Sergio. I want you to stick around. This is not a live where we're going to get into trying to prove who the Israelites are. However, we're going to prove that we're the people through scripture and through examining these situations and different things that's happening to our people. But I would like to get in touch with you, get your information, and we will do a live where you can come on and we can deal with this in particular in depth. I would love that. Let me see. This is what I want to do for you, Sergio. I have an email address. All right, it's scrolling at the bottom right there. Now, if you want to do that, if you inclined to do that, obliged to do it, I want you to hit that email up. Send me an email, and I'll respond to your email, correspond with you, and we can set up something. I hope that's feasible for you. But this live is about the Carmelo Anthony situation in particular. All right, but there's my email. I'll leave it there for a while to let you get it good. ebrystore@gmail.com. Dang. You know what? I thought I had a banner with both of y'all emails. Y'all want to put y'all emails in the chat, Brother Kadar or Brother Yash?
Put mine in right now.
Yeah, put your email in the chat. Mine is on the bottom of the screen. Reach out, Sergio. Make sure you reach out. But I was in Jeremiah 30 because we trying to understand why is it that a young white dude can shoot another young black dude in the back of the head, running away, send the police on a wild chase, right? And when he's in custody, he only gets 4 years in prison. Why is that happening? Why is it that when a sister drive by in a car, the police is after her, she raises up her baby, show them her baby's in the car, they still fire shots into the car? I got another question. Why is it that all of these young black dudes that's getting shot in the back and killed, right, running away, they're getting shot and killed, running away? How is it that all of these young black dudes have guns on them, but they never using them? Y'all ever notice that? They all end up with guns on them, running away.
Yeah, either they putting them on them or they scared to use.
Sergio, please reach out, man. Please reach out. But this says right here, it says, I will save them from far, and I see from the land of their captivity, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make them afraid. It says, for I am with thee, said Yahweh, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. All right, so some drastic is finna come on these nations. And whatever it is, the Most High say it's going to bring a full end to all the nations. But he said, I'm not going to make a full end of you, but I will correct thee in measure, and I will not leave thee altogether unpunished, because we still got some idiots among our people, among our own people. Why is it that everybody who's on the list for doing our people wrong, we trying to save them, or either we trying to graft them in, or we trying to say that they are us? You tell the Native Americans that they Israelites. You tell the Hispanics they Israelites. In their return, you know what they do? They become smarter than you, and they start teaching you that you rid of the Canaanites and that they the true people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We got some idiots among our own people. That must be your phone.
Yeah, because
all right, he said, for thus said Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. All right. Thy wound is incurable. Thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. All right. You ever seen somebody walking around with their head busted open, leaking, just walking around and nobody helping them? Nobody saying, hey, man, you need some help? You even call the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. We just a dude walking around. How many of y'all would do that right now if you seen that? You seen a dude walking around, you at least stop and say, man, why ain't nobody helping him? You mean call the police for you, man? Some, sit down, man. You walking around. Nothing. Thy bruise is incurable and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Sergio, who is this talking about? What group of people in the world today have no representation, nobody to plead their cause, nobody to represent them when they're going through something? However, when other groups go through stuff, they expect this one group of people to always stand in the gap for them and protest for them. Just a question. It says, thou hast no healing medicines. What group of people in this country have they already projected to be at zero net worth by the year 2050, while at the same time doing reports telling you that black males are committing more suicide now because of low economic opportunities, stress, and all these different factors? Just another question. No healing medicines. It says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. Why? For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. So all these things we see happening to our people, and we don't see no justice, no love from nobody. Nobody to say, wait a minute, and let me say this. There are some so-called white people and other people that you see speaking on it, right? But to what avail? Right? To what avail? Nothing is happening. But the Most High is saying, I did these things to you. I allowed these things to happen to you because of your iniquities. It says, I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. The Most High became our enemy because our people sinned against him, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity. This is why this is happening to us, because of the multitude of our iniquities as a people. He's allowed these things to happen to us. They still happening to us because thy sins were increased. Watch this. Why criest thou for thine affliction? He's asking, why even cry for your affliction? Why protest? Why go to the Supreme Court and do all these different things? Why petition? Thy sorrow is incurable, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. The Most High hardens the hearts of our enemies against us because we sin against them. Even in Israel, we still got sin going on. A lot of people claiming that we not the people. Like this dude in the chat, we not who we claim to be. Well, tell me who we are. What, Indians? Native Indians? Well, not native, but indigenous Indians? That's what we are? And what is that supposed to mean for us? Us finding out we Indians does what for us? What is our constitution as Indians? Who is our God as Indians? What is our culture? What is our food? What do we eat? Right? Didn't the Indians, did they eat buffaloes? Do y'all know? they ate buffaloes, but they didn't eat cows. Who was that? I don't really know. Do y'all know what did the buffaloes? What the Indians eat? Did they eat buffaloes?
Yeah, they ate buffaloes.
They did.
Yep. And whatever wild game you can find in the Midwest, because they, but yeah, it was primarily buffalo, and then the Edom Esau came and killed off what?
Millions of them, right? They
All of them,
extincted them,
damn
right?
near. Yeah, I know. Yeah, about 10 million of them, and probably more than that. They killed them all. Left them few where the buffalo almost became extinct. Now it's just starting to come back, and they talking about like 3, 4, maybe 5,000.
Okay. How many niggas you know now will eat some buffalo?
I'd like to try some one day, but I always wanted some. But you gotta be from Montana somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe Texas. Nah, you got that good old Longhorn. Uh,
What I'm at,
right.
what I'm
I
asking
know what you're
you
getting
is,
at. I know what you're getting at. Yeah, I'm
listen,
saying right.
how many niggas you know if you put some buffalo in front of them, they'll turn their nose up at it because it ain't some swine.
Like I said, you put some buffalo in
Most
front of
definitely. I ain't never
no,
heard of eating buffalo.
But we Indians, right? We when we hear eating buffalo, we should be like, oh man, that should resonate with us.
Never heard of it.
But when you look at them people who call themselves Indians now, they know about some buffalo. They'll eat the nuts off of buffalo. Literally. He say, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity. Because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. He said that all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee I will give for a prey. Now, why did the Most High scatter us into these nations? I'm going to give y'all the floor, bro. Give me some thoughts.
See, that's what I was talking about, though. That's what I mean about them causing all these confusions, wars, skirmishes, microaggressions against our people, trying to provoke us. See, because, excuse me, y'all. I know many of us are waiting for some great big tribulation to happen to us one last and final time, a time that never was like since the world began. And that time was these last 400 years. Everything that had happened in there, where you wiped out a people's identity and raised up another people to take their identity. Now, the Most High got them. It's crazy. I was thinking of this earlier. Since they carrying our name, he got them doing what we would have been doing anyway. He got them destroying it, but with a different way. They destroying the world that they set up for themselves, thinking that they're going to destroy it and then come back and rule it. That's no sense at all. Why destroy something that you already ruling in so that you can rule? Make that for real. Make that make sense.
Now you see why I say what they act like, right?
Yeah, but see, that's the logic that people believe. They told you, oh, because it says that. Look, man. See, because I'm looking at things with the real eye now. Because to me, we done caught up to prophecy. Talking about the end when don't you know we are the end? This is it. God was trying to encourage my cousin and letting them know that you have to have an expectation. See, we got an expectation, and they want to take our minds off of the expectation. That's what it's coming down to. This is what it's about. They're gonna do all they want, but that's enough for me for now.
Hey, Kador, I'm gonna keep my eye on my email, man. You should do the same. But what's your thoughts?
Now, what was the question again on that? Was it
It wasn't really, it wasn't really a question. It's just more so. Well,
why we
I,
getting punished, basically?
yeah, I was reading. I said why in Jeremiah 30 it says, "Therefore all they that devour thee should be devoured, and all thine adversaries should go into captivity." And they that spoil thee should be a spoil, and they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And I ask, uh, why did the Most High scatter us into these nations? Right? He
Right.
basically showing us, but let me get some thoughts, bro. I need it.
So, according to Deuteronomy chapter 7:6, we are a chosen people. Keep that in mind, right? But I'm gonna go to Amos 3. I love that question. And when you go ask anybody about why did black people go into slavery? Why was they the one, you know, get shipped all over the world into slavery and all that? Majority of people they gonna say because of sin. And you know what? I agree. Because of sin. So Amos 3, I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it reads, here's the word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities, all your lawlessness, all your sins. So, black people, everybody agree. They'll say, oh, black people went in slavery and were shipped all over the world because of their sins. This proves we the people of the book, Amos 3.
Hmm.
Now, do y'all, anybody on here, anybody in the chat, do y'all agree the Romans, they sin? The Persian Medes, they sin? The Babylonians, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Edomites, why they get shipped all over the world? Why only happen to so-called Negroes? Because
Hmm.
we've had the covenant with the Most High. That's why. Yeah.
So he shipped us all over the world for our iniquities, right? And this another thing, brothers. Like a lot of people will agree when you talk about black people, they will agree that, you know, and I'm talking about other races of people and even some of our own people. If you talk to dudes like Jesse Lee Peterson and all them, they will agree that so-called black people suffer from low morality. Would y'all agree with that? Like a lot of and other races of people, they'll talk about black people y'all do crime, right? They tell us we commit most of the crime in this country. They talk about how we're in poverty, how we're on welfare and food stamps and Section 8, right? They talk about uh, fatherless homes. You see what I'm saying? They will talk about all these things in the context to bring our people down, right? And to look down on our people. But when we talk about it in a context to show our people that because of these things, because of our evil, because of our wickedness. That's why we were scattered here. That's why we at the bottom. Then it becomes a problem. You see what I'm saying? It becomes a problem when we make the proper connection as to why we as a people are going through what we're going through. Yep. Nobody wants to identify with the curses, but the scriptures tell you that these curses are a sign, right? He said, these curses shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and they should be upon thy seed forever. This is how you identify with who the people are. All right. Got another one. I'm going to do this for you. All right. I'm going to put my email in the chat. The next live we're going to do is going to be about who are the true Israelites of the Bible today, who are the descendants of the true Israelites of the Bible. And we're going to deal with people like this who have an issue with that. We're the problem. Okay. Yeah, we are the problem because we refuse to turn to the Most High fully. That's why we're the problem. When the wicked rule, the people mourn. The earth is in mourning right now. Everybody's in mourning because the wicked people are in rulership. Wicked people are in rulership because those who the Most High chose refuse to serve him according to the way he said to serve him. And that's where we come in. So yeah, we are the problem. Y'all got something y'all want to add to this?
Yeah. See, because he proven the very point that I was saying in the beginning. Anything to take our minds off of who we are, because they spending trillions of dollars. You're destroying the whole world because you don't want us to know. You know why Hebrew Israelites are the problems? Because we are the ones who was chosen to exterminate the problems who's inhabiting the earth now. People like you.
Most definitely. Remember Jonah was on that boat and the wave was rolling, the boat felt like getting shipped over.
Mm-hmm.
And that came to Jonah. Jonah said he was the problem.
Yep. Hey, listen, not only that, right? Because when you look at all the scriptures and you look at our history, listen, before it was Hebrew Israelites, y'all was saying blacks are the problem.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You understand? So, when you go down through the scriptures, the Israelites, we were the only people, we was the problem for every nation. They was afraid of us, even though they had us captivity, because they knew if they pissed us off, we coming on.
Mm-hmm.
See, but now y'all trying to do it, but the Most High got us resting, like in the days of Joshua, when we was walking around the town of Jericho. We quiet now. But that day, there's gonna day come when he gonna shout, and then we gonna shout, and it's a wrap.
Yep.
It's only prolonging your agony, and the Most High got us here looking at y'all, laughing at this nation fall apart.
Get that email. Let's make it live. We the problem. Get that email. We're gonna bring you in. So it says, show me. All right, we'll deal with you later, bro. Hit the email and we'll deal with all that.
Well, I finna come live. We can show them. We can show them verbatim. We showed him. He said, nah. Yeah, because you scared.
All right. Why the Most High scatter us among the Gentiles, right? He said right here. Hold on. It says, and I shall hide my face from them, and I shall deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity and for prey and for devouring. And I shall remove them from the midst of the land, and I shall scatter them amongst the Gentiles. All right. This is why when we read Jeremiah 30, it says what it says. The Most High scattered us among the nations. Hold on. Moving slow now. Hold up. I'm gonna go back to Jeremiah 30 real quick. If my computer start hold on, y'all. Let me do something real quick. Close this. Getting some freeze action going on. Let me do something real quick. I had too many apps open. Let me close some things. And then we're gonna get into some of this case, man, because I want to show y'all something. All right. I got my email in there. Hit the email, and we're gonna set up something to where we can focus only on that. All right. Okay, this should work now. There we go. Jeremiah. I'm gonna go back to Jeremiah 30. That's why he said, "Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity." He gonna put the curses that's on us on the nations, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. This is why he scattered us among the nations. He said, "I will restore health unto thee. I will heal thee of thy wounds, said Yahweh, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after." All right. Now, everybody's saying, "Prove we the chosen." These are the people who are not reading the scriptures. All right. These are the mindless, blind people who are not reading the scriptures. The evidence is there. All you got to do is make connections. There's no other people on this earth that have been through these things. No other people on this earth have been through what we've been through the way that we've been through. So Jeremiah 30 is pretty much setting the tone for the people who asking why. You know, why are we not getting no justice? You know, where is God in these situations? Why ain't God doing nothing? Right? We got to read the manual. We got to understand that everything is prescribed in scripture. All right. And so we want to deal with the Karmelo Anthony case. Now that we know why all this confusion is going on, the Most High also said something else too. Let me see. He said something else too. Man, I don't like when this thing do that. Let me see. Further. Let me see. I want Zechariah chapter 1 and 15. He said this. He put us in their hands to be spoiled and to be devoured, right? And to be in captivity. But he also said this right here. Once it comes up. Hold on, man. I don't know why my computer is acting like this, y'all. Zechariah 1 and 15. When it come up, it come up. I'm going to just read it from here. It says, "And I am very sore displeased with the heathen, that they are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction." Right? So it says they helped forward the affliction. So although he put us in this position, he said they helped to forward the affliction. It wasn't enough for us to just be servants. It wasn't enough for us to serve the nations and that type of thing. They had to make us like animals. They treated us how you treat animals, right? They treated us how you take a cow and break a cow down. That's how they did our ancestors in chattel slavery, right? Even down to the actual eating of our ancestors. That's what they did. So he said he was a little displeased, but they helped afford the affliction. Y'all got some thoughts on that?
Yeah, we can find this in Joel 3. You know,
Yeah,
when they fought the affliction, it's a couple of things they did, and Most High is calling them out. Joel 3 5 says, verse 4, Joel 3, it says, Yea, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, in the coast of Palestine, when you render me a recompense? If you recompense me swiftly, speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Why? Because you have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my godly pleasure or goodly pleasant things. And the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from the border. Verse 7, behold, I will rise them out of their places, whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they should sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. So also it goes on and talks about how Edom shed innocent blood in their land. So a lot of stuff within this slavery they didn't supposed to do. And Tyre and Zidon, they sold us to the Grecians. Yet still you got people reading the New Testaments and Paul is trying to say to you, come on now. Anyway.
yeah,
So they took it a step further, and what they did, this is why they're going to get paid back for what they did. You know, and like I say in the same chapter, also it says that Edom shed innocent blood in their own land. They ain't supposed to do that. So look at the justice systems and system, like in Zechariah 11 and 5, it says, your possessors should slay you and find themselves not guilty, right?
yeah,
But what happens when we slay them? Self defense. Look what they do. They find us guilty on every corner. They put us to the max of the book. But when it comes to them, they find themselves not guilty. If this would have been a white boy that did that too, look. If it would have been a white boy, let's say, like I said, three black boys and one Chinese. I think they said it was something like that. It was like four white boys and three white boys, and one of them was Hispanic and or half breed, black and white, whatever. Anyway, let's say that happened, and black guys put their hands on the white boy. See, the difference between us and them, we would have been saying he shouldn't put his hands on him. But white people are so evil, they won't even tell the truth. Oh, he shouldn't have did that. Or even our own people, like that lawyer I was talking about earlier. Talking about he should have waited till they start stumping them, stumping them on the ground to put out. Come on, man. For you to say something that's stupid, lets you know that who you working for. And that lawyer's working for them. That's why he can't tell the truth.
yeah. So, what you think, brother Yash?
I kind of missed it, man. I was in the mid because yeah, I missed what he was saying, man. I had got a call, and I got all this stuff going on right now. Oh, this is crazy. But yeah. Hold on, man. Let me hold on.
All right, I'm gonna do this real quick. Um, I want to start with a year ago. All right. Last year, I did a video called Free Karmelo. Same title, right? Let me find this other one real quick. In that video, I'm just gonna play first half of a video. In this video, this is a year ago that I'm about to play. In this video, it's not a testimony or anything, but it's a guy who witnessed the actual incident. He's gonna detail the incident that took place under the tent, which, now if you're looking at it and following it, everybody can see what actually took place under the tent right there. They're showing the video. In this particular video from a year ago, this brother who was actually under the tent when it happened, he's gonna detail what took place under the tent, and then we're gonna compare what was said a year ago to what's being said now about the details of the event. This video we're going to look at is under fair use from a brother's channel called Introvert Rockstar. All right. And the title of the video is A Witness Just Exposed the Metcalf Twins. I'm going to copy the link and put it in the chat. This way, just for clarity purposes and so that people can see that this video is actually from a year ago. That's the link. All right. If you can see that, that's the link to the channel. So if you click on there, you can look at the video. You can subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? All that good stuff, right? Brother got some good content. But this is a video from a year ago, like I said, and we're going to look at this and we're going to come back and chop it up. Fair use.
Bad. Everybody trying to get back to the... It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
And look, I'm going to say.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. I just wanted to get the video part of, as you can see from the details in the video, you kind of get a feel for what's going on. Brother said that, and this is not a testimony, none, it's just a video from a brother who's seen the incident. This was a year ago. He detailed the event. We heard what he said, that they came from another area, but he said that the Carmelo Anthony was already under the tent. He was already there, and these dudes came from another location under that tent to confront him. They grabbed him, They punched on him. He said they went into his bag, right? Then he mentioned the knife. That he didn't really say much. He said that it's not that he had a knife, and then he went into describing how it's not illegal to have a knife, and it's not here in Texas. As long as it has to be a certain length, right? But then we'll deal with the knife aspect later. I want to backdoor this with another video real quick. We heard the details in that video. Now I want to backdoor it with this video. This video right here was just recently. All right, this is an actual person who went in and was able to view the video in Collin County or in Frisco ISD at the school. They allow people to come in. You have to sign up to view the video, and there were many people who signed up to view the video. None of these people were heard from prior to now. After he's sentenced and everything and in prison, now these people are being heard from. Let's see what this brother got to say.
My name is Tony Sturdivant. I was one of the individuals that put in a FOIA request to see the video. What I saw was
fair use.
Was starkly different from the testimony that I heard given in the trial.
So I got people in my DMs telling me that I needed to take my video down because of this gentleman. He was communicating that Karmelo Anthony was.
All right, real quick. This is another brother who saw the video, and my wife sent me the video of him speaking and giving details of what took place in the video. They tried to discredit this brother right here by saying he's a sex offender, or ex-sex offender, or some to that nature. Don't know if that's true or how true that is, but this is what they're saying about him to discredit what he said about the video. The details that he gave about the video match the same details that you're about to hear from this next brother in the video. Y'all got some thoughts? Brother Yaz, Brother Kadar?
Yes, one of those. Cause they'll try to discredit you and say, yeah. Oh, he's a sex offender. Yeah, but did what he say was wrong? See, they have dumbed everybody down, and they want you to be stupid. None of this is working anymore. None of this is working anymore, but these is all, like I said, because that's all the devil has left. This is what y'all looking at, y'all. This is your great tribulation right here. At this final end day, this final end times, they've got nothing left for us. They've hit us with everything they got. That's why the only ones who they are affecting is their people. I mean, we going through the same shit. It's a little rougher now, but because of the BS that they did. But watch how the Most High carry us through. See, because this is what he got in store for us. This is what I believe he wants us to do. Celebrate the victory that he has in store for us. They want to take your eye, and that's what your eyes should be on. They want to take your eye. They don't even want your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize. That's my word.
Brother Kadar?
Yeah, I seen this video, and my question is, why weren't these people at court on the defense side, right?
Yeah.
Or was they? Because these people will tell you everything what happened. I just don't understand. I wonder, did the court, did the state intimidate witness for the defendant? Because you had 20 witnesses for the state, but you only had 4 for the defendant. That don't sound right. And within the 20 witnesses, when you listen to them, they manipulate to lie. Anybody can see that. So I just wonder, these people coming out and talking and telling the truth, would they do the same thing in the court? Or would they allow themselves to be manipulated and go with the state?
That's the whole point, though. These are the people they kept away. everybody who was in on that, you know, they have something coming out now saying that all of those witnesses were coerced. They pretty much forced into doing what they did. They were all one unit. You know what I mean? So let's look at the details of what this brother is saying in this video about what took place. And let's see if it matches what was said a year ago. And once after we hear this, I have a question. All right, fair use.
Was getting jumped in the video feed, right? Well, here's more people communicating the same thing. They put a FOIA request in to see the video, and they saw the video. And for some odd reason, the defense never played this video during the trial.
I went to see the video. They ask if you want to see it from either 2 minutes before the stabbing or 11 minutes before. So I chose 11 minutes. From the moment she pressed play, Karmelo Anthony was already sitting up underneath that canopy. And he was sitting there for at least 8 to 9.5 minutes. You see, well, I saw a boy in a black hoodie go over to him first, and then they left out of the tent, and then you see coming across the field was another 6 boys. When they got to the bleachers, one, he went out of frame, and the other one sat at the bottom. But the remaining 4, they went directly to Karmelo Anthony. And like T said before, it was a brief conversation, and then all you see is commotion.
There's a big question. What prevents this video from being played during the trial?
And we know from the interviews that Hunter did, we know that Hunter was, in fact, up underneath that tent.
If you don't remember Hunter saying that, here's the video.
Back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, you know, how he always is with me, just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more like higher intensity, and the kid said some like aggressive stuff, like reckless stuff, and also tried to handle the problem. And
you see, then Austin stepped in and tried to handle the so-called problem.
You can see Karmelo in the midst of them assaulting him. You can see Karmelo trying to back out, but he gets pulled back forward. The next thing you see is Karmelo. He comes shooting out the back, but he's still not standing. And he had to like kind of crab crawl backwards, and he had to like jerk away from them because they still had a hold of his hoodie. He goes up a couple bleachers and he's looking around for which way to go. He runs diagonally down the bleachers and then he falls. At the time of him falling, that's when I noticed another 3 boys coming down the bleachers chasing after him.
If you think this...
All right, so far, you know, this is a sister, and I think he's going to show the brother too. But there's going to be 2 witnesses, right, to the video that we played in the beginning, the first video, right? We see that the details are lining up, but so far from what we heard, how do we perceive in any kind of way that Karmelo Anthony had intent? Does this sound like there was intent on his part to harm anybody or to do wrong to anybody? She said when she first clicked the video on that he was already under the tent for 8 or 9 minutes, right? They have 2 different videos, and you know, supposedly in court they played a video that was sort of grainy and was said to be altered, right? Some people pointed that out, but what y'all think, man? When y'all hear what she's saying so far, is what she's saying so far lining up with the video where the brother spoke a year ago about the details?
My thing is now that it's all this 2026, man, and that video is like, you know, the video that they allow you to see is it's like kind of grainy in spots. It's you know, it's really a hard one. You think that your technology would be better, They say that they cut out a large time stamp of it, and people ain't trying to hear it, because that's what. Listen, they wanted to put the fix in. They're putting their Ray Ray out there straight up on blast. See, because they want us to be pissed off. I'm talking reality right here. They want us to be pissed off. But see, but the Most High got us in chill mode. You see, because when I see stuff like this go down, I'm starting to look for the next disasters.
Yeah.
And he's throwing out his disasters on them left and right. Left and right.
Indeed. Shout out to Shebri. Yeah, I see that video, man. I'm gonna play that one too, because like I said, this case, man, this was the most banjo on the porch, redneck, man. I don't, this is crazy. I believe the judge and all them was in the courtroom with overalls on and straw hats. That's how redneck this case was. Straight up, Collin County is a redneck county, man. I know about Collin County. I grew up probably a half an hour from Collin County. I used to live near Collin County for a while in McKinney, Texas. McKinney, Texas is right around the corner from Frisco, Texas. And I used to work in Frisco. So I'm well familiar with that town. Every time I was there, I was in and out, bro. In and out. And it wasn't even developed the way it is now back then. It was coming up back then. Country. Fair use, man.
This video would change the minds of any of those jurors. Drop it in the comments.
So again, my name is Tony Sturdivant. I was one of the individuals that put in a FOIA request to see the video. What I saw was starkly different from the testimony that I heard given in the trial.
So I got people in my DMs telling me that I needed to take my video down because of this gentleman.
Okay, that's a repeat of that. But now this is what I want to do. Now we're gonna look at another video of the camera, right? Because they're now releasing the footage of the incident on camera. They could have done this a year ago, but the reason they postponed this trial is because they had this video and all this evidence from the beginning, from the jump. They already knew from the jump that Karmelo Anthony acted in self-defense. They knew from the jump. Also, I'm gonna throw this out there, that even though Austin Metcalf was taken out, he was killed, right, in that situation, that was not Karmelo Anthony's intent. His intent was not to do that. He responded in self-defense like anybody would, right? If somebody's surrounding you and jumping you, you don't really care what you do. Number one, you're trying to get away, right? Some brothers like Brother Yash, he'll stand in a circle and box with you. He'll knock a few of them out, right? But if you're smart like me, you're going to try to get you some distance at least first. I ain't saying Brother Yash ain't smart. Brother Yash got them hands, but that's what he'll do. But if you a small stature like Karmelo Anthony, you know what I'm saying? Any person in general, right, would first think to get out of that situation by any means. Right? Most people, we I think it was Brother Bunya said he was in a situation like that. He said he was getting jumped, right? And he said that he called on Jesus. As soon as he called on Jesus, right, it's like he just started swinging and bodies just started falling. I believe that that's what this young brother did. I could be wrong. I wasn't there. That's just what my discernment is telling me, because look at the outcome. How do you only get one person out of 4 people that's attacking you? That was meant for him. That was a judgment in that instance of the Most High, I believe. That wasn't his intent for that to be the outcome. However, that was the outcome. And what they're trying to do is keep that suppressed. They don't want you to know that this young brother didn't have that intent. They want you to think he came to school with a knife, ready to cut somebody. Right? So watch this. Under fair use, let's look at the video. All right, we heard the one in the beginning. We heard the second one, right? Now let's look at this and let's see what the sister said and what the brother said matches. Fair use.
Streets, another life gone. Karmelo stand, but the world paid him wrong. Video locked up, truth hidden away. They rush to judge, tell us what to say. One said a million, crumbs thrown like a joke. They expect us quiet while our hearts go up in smoke. Self-defense claim, but the media scream, painting him guilty before we see a scene. We've been patient, we've been praying, watching a system keep betraying. Still we
last email I got was June 10th. Today is the 21st.
This is the cry of the people, fed lies and crumbs, justice unequal. We never had a fair shot, never.
How many people did the sister say she saw approaching the tent?
About 5, 6.
How many people you see right there?
Yep. 5, 6.
I see 6.
Yeah. Huh?
I see 6.
Yeah. But you got a pack of 5 and then you got 6. That's 5, 6.
But I am going to get my eyes checked.
And you got somebody right here coming across the field.
Talking about right here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I see
he heading towards the action too.
5, 6.
But you was right about me, man. And I'm small like that dude, but I would have definitely just listen. It would have been some slinging going on up in that mug.
I mean, you would have dropped you 1 or 2.
I would have dropped them all. I ain't never looking for 1 or 2. There's everybody getting dropped. Shoot.
Brother, y'all say he be on the sway bag.
I was on that same kind of stuff that Banya was on too, man. Me and my man Sal got trapped like 30-something mugs, man. Everybody got dropped that night. Everybody.
That sway bag, how you moving your head from every angle, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Doing stuff that I didn't even know was possible, man. That's when I learned about them Bruce Lee movies. I said, oh, that's real. Mug standing around waiting to get hit.
Man.
Jump in and catch one.
Yeah. Kadar, what you think, man? How many people you see? I need to get my eyes checked. So I might not be seeing the right amount. What you think, Brother Kadar? He might have been stepped away. Fair use. I see 6. Remember what she said, right?
We demand our due, not scraps at their feet. This is the voice of the broken. True silence, but now we spoken. One day the world.
All right, the music cut off. We just looking at it. All right. We see them approaching. They walking down the it says Karmelo Anthony enters the stadium. All right, so this is him right here. Karmelo Anthony enters the tent. There he is right there. Austin Metcalf appears to move next to Karmelo Anthony. It's kind of blurry. You can't really see it. 3 minutes later, the attack happens. We see now this video is kind of chopped up.
Forward.
All right. Hold up. All right, so most of the videos you see circulating around or somewhat on that note, you know, it's showing them walking up to the tent. All right. This video shows Karmelo Anthony entering into the tent. This video seems like it may have been sort of chopped up to a degree, but let me see something real quick. Hold on. Hold up. Now, I want to play another video. I want to play this video right here, and we're just going to kind of trace it back, all right? This is all stuff that's coming out now after the fact, all right? Hold on. It said, now this next video, it says, did Hunter Metcalf tell Fox 4 News that Karmelo Anthony picked up their tent tool? Hold on. Am I showing that? No, I'm not. Hold up. Wrong one. Give me 1 second. Hold up. What's going on? What is going on? Oh, I didn't. Okay, I see. Hold on. I got a lot of tabs open. So this is the one right here. Now, can y'all see that? It says, did Hunter Metcalf tell Fox 4 News that Karmelo Anthony picked up their tool, their tent tool, after Austin punched him in the face? If so, you have to call Hunter. If so, you have to call Karmelo. Hence the gag order, planned obfuscation. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but we're going to look at this right here because this is a testimony from the brother. Remember, initially they said that they approached him and asked him to move, and his response was, touch me and see what happens, right? They asked him to move again, or they said he put his hand on his shoulder and asked him to move again, and his response was, hit me and say what happens. They really dressed this up as if, you know, these guys politely went to him and asked him to move, and in return he was belligerent and violent towards them. But let's look at this right here. Fair use.
Well, welcome to another installation of Keencast, law, justice, politics, motorsports, things of that nature. And my folks, my, how the complexion could be changing. So this is a story that someone I know on Facebook sent me this from, you know, a chat line. And Cynthia Carpenter stated to Rassisi and Burleson, it looks like, that's what Fox 4 responded as ambulance was leaving the track field. The two boys and Hunter said that the Karmelo picked up the tool they used to put their tents up with after his brother Austin punched him in the face. Fox News hurried up and took down that local live breaking news story. And we Dallas folks have not seen that video no more. That's what the two boys said. And Hunter was crying and said, I stand by my brother even if he was wrong. They can't take that away from us Dallas residents. We haven't forgotten that. People, please, anybody who has seen this, we need you to come forward. And I mean like now, okay? And, you know, it's the same missing video that they're pulling on us, you know, with regard to the whole incident, right? When is the last time, like I said, my other bike video, when is the last time you've seen the media withhold or keep from the public a video that was inculpatory of black people? Sure. right? When I got indicted, it was complete bullshit, and I beat it. They ran. I did voir dire when I was in the NAACP legal chair. It was complete bullshit, right? I went through voir dire, and then they ran away like a puppy that peed itself, right? And they all crossed the charges, all that stuff, just crap. But I was on the front page of the newspaper, and I hadn't even been contacted about it. That's how they do you. That's why when I saw this case come up, I'm like, I gotta fight for this kid, right? So now we're back to this trusty old beat up suitcase, right? Pepper, do you want a treat? Okay. So, all right, check this out. If that's true, right? Here you go. If that's true, then how do you not put him on the stand, Mike Howard? Okay? Because listen, you know damn well, Karmelo has virtually spotless background, all right? Nothing that would be overshadowed by anything that's going to come out on cross, right? From them, right? So you got to miss me with that, man. You cannot just put a regular case on, especially with a black person in America. You can't just go that half step and say I've got home. I got second base. Now I'm home. I can coast on through because I discredited a couple of their witnesses while I allowed testimony. Let's not get into that. But you can't just do that. You got to go the extra mile because we're black, and I'm not ashamed to say that because you know what? Calling out racism is not racism. It's just calling a spade, right? So anyway, I had thought that it was a weapon of opportunity, right? But I thought by that it was a weapon of opportunity that was on Hunter's belt because we know he always carries a poker, or he does in pictures. We've seen it, right? So I'm gonna read it one more time and I'll take a ride. Take a ride with me. That's what Fox 4 reported. His ambulance was leaving the track field. The two boys, and Hunter said, Karmelo picked up the tool they used to put their tents up after his brother Austin punched him in the face. Okay, so remember, that matches the video I keep playing. Somebody made a loop of it. It's the video where Jeff Metcalf said, when his sons and members of the high school track team, when his sons and members of the Memorial High School track team, right. So once again, we have a situation where if that's true, you know what I think happened, right? Let's do it again. That's what I think happened. Let's see if this thing starts. We just got it back. This is my partner's bike. It's tiny, but it's fun. It's good. Oh, God, Pepper.
I'm gonna stop it there. All right. So that was a report from the brother saying that Austin punched Karmelo in the face and he grabbed their tent tool. We were told that Karmelo Anthony used a knife. Now, the thing about that, we were never shown a knife. There was a lady who did a video where she described from the medical examiner during the trial, he described the puncture in the dude's chest, and it was nothing like a knife. It wasn't a knife puncture. She described it as something else. So when I heard that, I said, wow, because I have a utility tool, right? I have a pocket knife and I have a utility tool, a multi-purpose tool, which has a cutter, a knife, a filer, a bottle opener, and some small pliers, right? It's a utility tool. This is what they're saying they're using. Now, you can buy those anywhere, right? And not all of them are the same. Not all of them have the same tools, just depending on which kind of one you buy. Some of them have, when I first heard it, me in my mind, I'm thinking maybe it had a corkscrew on it or something, because the utility tool I have, it has multi-tools, but let me see if I can find it. I usually carry it in my pocket, but the knife part of it, it takes some work to sort of pull it out, So a utility tool is not a good self-defense tool, so to speak. If you're in a tight situation and that's all you have, understood, but it's not something you would go to or use initially in terms of self-defense, because you know the way these things are designed, the knife part is tucked away, right? And if you really look at the situation at hand, how do you have time to pull the knife portion out of your utility tool when you being attacked, you being roughed up? The reports say he was punched, right? So when you think about that situation, you know, things happen fast, quick. You know, when fights happen, sometimes they happen just like that, out of nowhere, and in no time it's over, right? Somebody on the ground, or you know, somebody ran off or whatever, right? Think about that. They're telling you he brought a knife to school with the intent. What y'all brothers think? Give me some thoughts, man. She said, I heard that it was a tent peg. Yeah. And that's what many reports are saying now. As a matter of fact, now that you mentioned that, I have another video from a year ago that pretty much expresses the same thing. I'm gonna pull it up. Y'all give me some thoughts, brother Yash, brother Kadar. I'm gonna find this portion in the video that's talking about the knife.
Yeah, my thing is this. They say that he looked like he was in a scuffle. You know, he had bruises and all that. Why ain't they show the pictures? The pictures of him when he was in the police custody. They ain't show none of them bruises on his face. And you mean to tell me, because this is the first time in the history of people taking pictures with their cell phone. This is the first time in history you ain't got one cell phone footage.
Not one.
That's automatically suspect.
Not one.
You know, so
you said, hold on. You say it's the first time in history.
In history.
And they showing that they got these things showing that they had cell phones back in ancient days and all this.
For real. I mean, you talk about people who took selfies of hangings.
Come off limbs too.
So all of this is nothing but a pure D railroad. Plain and simple. But I'm keeping my eye open for the Most High's judgments, man, because with all these come the judgments. And then what about the one-year-old baby?
Yeah.
You accuse a lady of stealing Pampers, so you go shoot her baby.
Savage shit, right?
You know, this is nuts.
You want to talk about something that'll literally...
But they building it up. I believe they building it up for the Most High. See, this is all going directly into his judgments.
Yeah.
And it's just culminating up to something very, very, very bad for them.
Yeah. She said they I'm gonna read this comment. She said, I have his mugshot. They took his photos and doctored them. They made him much darker than he is. Now it's funny because I've seen multiple videos saying that when they initially took his mugshot, that he had bruises on his face. You just heard him said that Austin Metcalf punched him. That's what prompted him to grab the tool, right? The tent tool. So whatever he used wasn't a knife. It was just used in self-defense. It said that it's a knife. The reason they're saying that it's a knife is because that conceals the intent. By saying it was a multi-purpose tool, that automatically removes intent. They want you to believe that was his purpose for going to the track meet. They lied and said he was suspended from school, when in actuality, it was one of the Metcalf twins who was suspended from school and attended the track meet. By saying it's a knife, he brought a knife to school in his backpack. Off top, right, that leads the jury, which is a bunch of stupid, you know what's, all of them stupid, because all it took was common sense. Who carries a knife in their backpack nowadays? You got young dudes walking around with guns that police don't even have. You got people printing gun parts for guns from 3D printers. You understand what I'm saying? If a person has intent, there are way better ways to go about your intent. Why have a knife in your backpack and not your pocket, somewhere handy, right? As if you hiding something that don't nobody have. These are things that they want to keep. They want to keep the intent concealed, right? They want you to think this dude came up there just ready to slice, ready to cut, ready to do some harm. Now, hold on. It was another video. This is a video I wanted to show right here. This is from a year ago as well. Let me check the date. It says a year ago. That's what it say. A year ago, April 8th, 2005. This actually event of him defending himself and taking the life of Officer Metcalf, this took place, I believe, on April 6th of 2025. And this is April 8th of 2025. We're now in June. This is June, late June. Right? And they waited a whole year just to have a kangaroo trial, right? Just to do this. So this video right here is from a year ago. And this is Cornell X on Fox News, a little segment they like to have where he chides back and forth with a white person over black issues. They're getting ready to talk about the knife. Fair use.
He brought that on himself.
Okay, that's a disgusting take, right? But you said he wasn't breaking any rules. Was it a violation of school policy to come to the track meet armed with a deadly weapon?
So now,
yes or no?
Wait a minute.
Yes or no?
It was that kind of knife.
Yes or no?
It was that kind of knife.
Yes or no?
It was not that kind of knife.
Well, what kind of knife was it?
That's the lie being told.
No.
It was not no butcher knife, no kitchen knife. It wasn't no buck knife. It wasn't that kind of knife.
What kind of knife was it?
See, I'm going to be quiet right now. It's going to come out.
Oh,
those knives that he used were the same ones they used to help put them tents up.
Okay, so he was armed with a knife.
Everybody, a lot of kids had those knives putting those tents up. It's a custom knife that they used to put those tents up. He didn't bring no weapon like that.
Are you allowed to carry a knife at school?
Charles, it was not that type of weapon.
Okay, was it a knife
at all,
or not?
Charles? It was something that they used to help erect tents.
Okay, who told you that?
All of them. Let me say this to you, Charles. I'm not going to get too deep into that.
I get
point,
that. Had Karmelo been in trouble before for carrying a weapon at school?
I don't know anything about this.
You don't know anything about it. Okay, so we can agree, though, that it is in fact a violation of policy to have a deadly weapon at a track meet. Yes
Charles,
or no? Yes or no? Can we agree to that?
He didn't bring that type of weapon.
Okay.
He did not.
Did he have a weapon hidden in his backpack?
He used a weapon to defend himself,
Did he
Charles.
open up his backpack?
He used a weapon to defend himself.
I dare you to touch me.
No, Charles.
Well, so
he had a right to do that.
Oh, well, really?
He wasn't wrong.
Really?
If you in my face threaten to do bodily harm to me, if you threaten me over and over to do bodily harm to me, and then you punch me in my face,
because
he got a right to use whatever force necessary.
Okay.
Notice he said, if you in my face trying to do bodily harm to me and you punch me in my face. So this was a year ago. We weren't told a year ago that Austin Metcalf punched him in the face. All of that information was suppressed. And now he's trying to pin him on the knife issue. Can we agree that it's a felony to bring a deadly weapon to a track meet? A deadly weapon? No, it's not. It's not a felony, right? If I have a gun, right? If I'm in a state where it's open carry, no, it's not. It's not a felony. It's a felony if I use a weapon, right, and harm somebody or take their life unnecessarily. That's the felony. This is all the stuff they was trying to pin on him from the jump, right? He had a knife in his backpack. He opened his backpack and said, you know, touch me and see what happens. Touch me and see what happens sounds like a response to something. Nobody says that if somebody come up and ask you to move, right? If they say, hey, move from that seat, even if they rude, right? If they say, hey man, get your ass out that seat, you're not gonna say touch me and see what happens. You might say, man, what? Who you talking to? Somebody tell you, get your ass out that seat, you know, your initial response, man, who you think you're talking to? It's not even that I won't move, man, but who are you talking to like that? That's where the issues start. That's how they came to him. And he probably was like, man, nah, you're not finna punk me and talk to me like that. You know? Touch me and see what happens sounds like a response to something, is what I'm saying. But we see that according to this, it wasn't even a knife. It wasn't that kind of knife. All right. What you think, Brother Yash?
You see, that's the way. Now, I was looking at it like the way them folk, the way they try to look at it and break it down. You know, it's his breakdown. He had a knife. He had school. He had this. He had that. They simple minded. So you gotta bust them in the head with the truth, even though they don't want to hear it. At the end of the day, what I think is that the Most High's judgment is going to be brutal on these heathens. And ain't nobody got no right, no business trying to take up for them. Yeah. Because we all know there's good people in everywhere. I mean, there's some nice people. I mean, but look, was not there nice people in our nation at the time when it was time for the Most High to bring judgment upon our people? He said, I'm going to destroy the righteous with the wicked. If he did it for us, but we don't want the same for them.
Right. Exactly.
See, they got us on some twisted behind thinking.
Exactly.
I'm keeping my focus where it belongs. They getting it, man. They getting it. Good, bad, ugly, it's going down.
But see, that denotes that you understand the judgments of the Most High. They don't understand how the Most High's judgment is. They don't understand that he judges, just like when he sent Israel in captivity, all the righteous prophets was in captivity. You said before, it's not about some of our people being righteous. We all on one accord. So if one person is not righteous and not dealt with according to the law, then that affects everybody. That's why the Most High said, if your mama, your daddy, whoever, if they entice you to serve another God, you the first one need to put your hands on them. Because that's going to bring a curse on the land. This is how our God operates. And guess what? Christians don't like that God of the Old Testament. They don't like him. They think he was too mean. They think he was too harsh. When in actuality, The God of the Old Testament was dealing with a people whose hearts wasn't circumcised to serve him in the first place. You know what the God of the Old Testament is? Is like Israel in the beginning. The Most High had to give them tough love in the beginning. Y'all know what tough love is? It's like, I love you, but I ain't finna be nice to you. I love you, but I'm not finna let you slide. You see what I'm saying? Because I know what's in your heart, and all you doing is looking for an angle to where you can mess me over or have an advantage on me anyway, take advantage of me anyway. So I got to keep you in a position to where you got to be humble. And every time you do something, I'm going to deal with you for it until your heart is right. That's what Israel was. Israel was like he was the husband. Israel was the bride. Israel was like a woman trying to, take her husband for granted. You know how people say they love God and they love Jesus now, but they take him for granted. They don't keep the commandments. They don't study the scripture. They don't repent. That's how we are as a nation. The Most High even called Israel a whore. Think about that. Think about that. That's what we dealing with. Now, the dude said he didn't bring a knife to school. But from the beginning, the media, Fox News in particular, right? Fox News is one of the main culprits of pushing this narrative about him. And this is another reason they postponed the trial. This is another reason why they're handling it the way they're handling it. Even with the appeal now, they said, when this is what I heard, right? They said an appeal could take probably up to 7 years. I'm gonna look and research that. But that's just what I heard for now concerning that. They said that an appeal may take up to 7 years. Why are they doing this? It's to protect the media, protect the main outlet that was pushing this stuff, Fox News. Karmelo Anthony and his family can sue Fox News majorly, because all of them are doing one major thing, and it's against the law. They bearing false witness against our young brother. That's against the law. Thou shalt not bear false witness. How many false witnesses testified in that trial? Was coerced by the judge, the prosecutor, the DA, the defense attorney. All of them was working together in that courtroom, bearing false witness, lying, withholding evidence. And they took a year to do that. They took a year to postpone this trial for it only to last barely a week. 3-hour deliberation. Right after that, 35 years. First degree murder. Now they trying to hurry up and wash their hands and go on. And not only that, the judge who presided over the trial, he did an interview. I'm gonna try to find that too. I'm gonna find that interview. He did an interview saying that he's only gonna do maybe 1, maybe 2 more trials, and then he's gonna retire. So now this fool is he trying to shake the spot. He trying to skate for real. He done did what he did. Now he trying to retire, planning for retirement. How much money did he get? I wonder. Fool say, I'm finna retire. He got so much money from this trial, he say he about to retire. Watch this, y'all. We still on this knife. We still dealing with the knife. Fair use. They say he brought a knife to school, right? He said it wasn't no butcher knife, it wasn't no buck knife. All right. if you have a utility tool, you can't call it a knife. Because if that's the case, I can call it a damn fingernail filer. Because I got one on mine. Got a fingernail filer, a knife, a bottle opener, some pliers, and where that damn thing get? It's probably in the bathroom somewhere. I usually keep it in my pocket. Let's see. I usually keep it in my pocket, you know. It's one of the things men do, you know what I mean? Brother Yash, I'm sure you carry one too. Pocket knife or utility knife. Some you can use.
Yeah, you need it for work.
Yeah. Or just because, you know what I'm saying? I'll be at work using it sometime. They tell us we can't use our own knives at work.
Same here, yep.
But by habit, sometimes I just reach in my back pocket, put it out, and do what I need to do real quick and put it back up. You know what I'm saying? That's my sin. But you can't call that a knife. You see what I mean? You can't call a utility tool a knife. It don't even say it's a knife on the package when you buy it. You know? Somebody say, hey, man, you got a bottle opener? Like, yeah, here I got one. Just pull the tool out, pop the bottle, whatever. Yeah, I got a screwdriver.
Even a wine cork.
Yeah. You like, I got a, if you can call it a knife, you can call it a corkscrew, right? You can call it whatever you want to call it. Screwdriver, pliers. Mine got some pliers on it.
Yeah. Mine too, yep. Pliers.
Little wire cutters, all that.
All that, yep.
You did. Shalom, sis. You love Yah. Indeed. We love the Most High. He's our God. Look, it's not that we love him, but he loves us, right? It's because he loved us first.
Like you said, nobody else cared. He the only one who cared for us.
Man.
See, that's why I be breaking down the salvation to him now. They be like, yeah, he really said the world. I break it down. Everybody had everybody to come and care, rescue, concern for them. When it came to us, nobody.
Yeah.
We the only ones who needed salvation.
Yeah.
Who need it to this day.
See, I have an actual utility tool that has a knife on it and all this different stuff. I have a hunting knife, right? And then I have a commodity knife, like a decorative knife. The decorative knife almost look like a damn mini sword. You know what they used to call those little swords?
Dagger.
Not a dagger, but I forget what they used to call them. But it got an eagle point, like an eagle head on the handle.
Yeah.
And it got a case to it. You know, it's a decorative knife, but that mug probably about 10 inches long.
Mm.
You know, then I got a hunting knife that's probably, it come in the case. It's a sharp ass knife too. It come in the case, and it got a loop on it. You hook it around your belt, hook your belt through it, and you can carry it that way. And that mug is probably about 6-7 inches long. And it's sharp. All right. So when you say he brought a knife to school, that alone sort of triggers, something to say, okay, why would he bring a knife to school? Right. But when you call it what it is, that completely removes the intent. That removes the lame ass line of questioning that was created. They coerced that. But let's see what this sister got to say about the knife. Fair use.
To give us our flowers. But at the end of the day, a lawyer has found evidence. Now, y'all, this is the one that's gonna set Karmelo Anthony free. This particular lawyer states that Hunter admitted that it was their fault, okay? As if we didn't need them to admit that. But he also goes into the tool because everybody is saying, why did he bring this to school? Okay. And I was like, there is some part about this that we don't know. And I said this in my last video. I feel like the family can go ahead and say it now at this point. There's nothing to hold on to. You're not going to give anybody in my house 35 years and think that I'm going to continue to be quiet. Listen, this is what happened. And we didn't tell it because the lawyer said that it was in our best interest. Whatever he said, do the opposite. We'll get into this.
Hold on, I gotta respond to this. She say my dad chased one of our neighbors. Damn, is your dad Jamaican? Zuriah, your dad must be Jamaican or from the islands. You see that, brother Yash?
Mm-hmm.
Say, man, machete, man. You know what? I need to get me a machete.
Yeah, I got me one. I got to get another one though. I got a machete. I got this other knife, man. It's got a hook on it, man. It can hook you and drag you and lop your head off. I got something, man. I got something for you. When it comes to cutting.
I know what you don't got yet. You don't got
Not
that.
yet.
You don't got that
Not
alligator
yet.
jaw.
I'm gonna get it.
You don't got that alligator
I'm
jaw.
gonna get it. I'm gonna be out here like a savage with it, for real.
Look, you ought to create your own, customize your own weapon and call it that.
Oh yeah.
I'll get one. I'll tote one. An alligator jaw.
I'm gonna do something.
She say her dad chased a man with a machete. What did he do? Whatever he did, he pissed your pops off. Your pops say, man, forget the consequence. You say, neighbor call. Oh, okay. No Pittsburgh. Okay, that'll do it. Your neighbor must have been pretty fast. Look, your life on the line.
At least that day. They ain't seen the white man run so fast. He said that sucker was gone. Jumping fences and everything.
You better be glad your dad was he good at throwing machetes? He said, "Oh, machetes, yeah, for real, man. I done heard of people doing some serious damage with the machetes. You know." He said they got out of town. They say this dude is crazy. We can't say the N-word around here. Say what? But I love niggers. Them old white folks in them sundown town, they say, they come around here disturbing our niggers. Our niggers are good. They're peaceful. They don't fight. They don't protest. We feed them. She was 11 at the time. Damn. That's rough. Let's look at this, man. She going into the knife, right? The weapon of choice, the knife, fair use.
The tool, because it wasn't a knife, and I was extremely irritated when the attorney continued to allow people to call it a knife, because I don't feel like that is something that they should have continued to say to the jury. We'll get into this, y'all. That tool was something that they used to put up the tent. And when Karmelo got jumped, I mean, somebody jump on you and knocking you all upside your head, and it's a weapon right there. What you gonna do?
So not only was it that he didn't bring a knife to school, the tool that he used to defend himself, he never had it on his person. It wasn't in his backpack. Basically, that tool was like a ram in the bush for him. He's getting jumped, right? Because his brother jumped him too. They say it was more than one of them. And I believe all that's going to come out, but whatever he used was something that he didn't bring with him. They said that he brought the knife to school. They said that he brought the knife to the track meet. They lied and said that he got in trouble for having a knife before, which was found to be false. Pretty much everything they tried to pin on him was what the brothers was doing was facts about the two white boys. They were the ones suspended. Well, one of them was, from my understanding, was suspended and wasn't supposed to be there. He was there anyway. My wife was just telling me something earlier. We was talking. She was saying that some information was coming out about the boys, how they coach, was banning them or getting ready to cut them from the team because they was too unruly and too undependable. So they had a bad rapport with their own coach. Many people are saying that these white dudes was bullies. Heard that on more than one occasion. Now we hearing this, right? Hold on. What's this? Is this the what is this? Here's the footage. What to do? Okay, I'm gonna play that in a minute. Because more and more videos are coming out now showing the video footage. And I believe I ain't gonna say I believe, I know that there was people right there recording with their phones. I know that for a fact. Brother Yaz brought up a good point. Like it don't take no time for people to pull their phones out now when something go down. People can sense something to go down. They already got their phones up. See? Two dudes get to squaring off, they already got their phones up. Fair use.
Use it to get them up off. So let's get into it.
That nature. And my folks, my, how the complexion could be changing. So this is a story that someone I know on Facebook sent me this from, a chat line. And Cynthia Carpenter stated to Rasisi and Burleson, it looks like, that's what Fox 4 responded as ambulance was leaving the track field. The two boys and Hunter said that the Karmelo picked up the tool they used to put their tents up with after his brother Austin punched him in the face.
After Austin punched him in the face, he never brought any weapon to school, guys. But listen to what the attorney states that Fox did with the information. After this is all said and done, Karmelo and his family needs to sue the state for their, what they did. They need to sue the school and possibly some other folks.
Fox News hurried up and took down that local live breaking news story. We Dallas folks have not seen that video no more. That's what the two boys said, and Hunter was crying and said, I stand by my brother even if he was wrong. They can't
I stand by my brother even if he was wrong. Well, you know your brother was wrong. You know that your brother was wrong.
Take that away from us Dallas residents. We haven't forgotten that. People, please, anybody who has seen this, we need you to come forward. And I mean like now, okay? And, it's the same missing video that they're pulling on us, with regard to the...
Right, so if he had the knife in his backpack, how did he take it? How was he able to get the knife out of his backpack if they took his backpack and threw it? I've heard that multiple times too. They took his backpack and threw it as if to say, nigga, get from under this tent. Here's your bag. Go get your bag. Get from under here. How was he able to get a knife out of his backpack if they took it?
The whole incident, right?
Exactly. This is believable because everybody that's coming forth that saw the video, these people don't know each other. But if you listen to their story, although they use their own choice of words, the stories are all the same.
When is the last time, like I said in my other bike video, when's the last time you've seen the media withhold or keep from the public a video that was inculpatory of black people?
In other words, like the brother said earlier, whenever black folks do something and they're guilty, for sure, shit, we know about it a second later. The news every news station already got coverage and footage. Hell, when during the OJ trial, how many times they showed us the knife during that trial? They showed us the crime scene, the gloves, all that stuff. We seen it. We seen the actual trial. They didn't even air the trial, the Karmelo Anthony trial. We're getting details from the trial, third party. There are a lot of people who did videos who were actually there in the trial. They didn't allow any recording, anything in the courtroom in the name of trying to have a fair trial. No black people on the jury in the name of no bias. So instead, you have a mostly white jury and people of color, like 3 people of color, quote unquote, they would call it. But none of our people on the jury in the name of no bias. Like, isn't that showing a bias? That's that's like a contradiction. But this is what they can do because, this is their system. That's their town. They can conduct things how they want to conduct it. Hold on.
I feel like Fox need to be sued as well.
Yeah.
Because they're also perpetrating a narrative, and they knew that they had evidence that was contradict. Just like these interviews that Austin has done where he said, me, we, us, we both approached him. Come on now.
Sure, right? When I got indicted, it was complete bullshit and I beat it. They ran, I did voir dire when I was in the NAACP legal chair. It was complete bullshit, right?
All right, I'm gonna go to another one. That we saw that video. It's sort of repeating. She's basically showing the video we looked at a minute ago, but the knife aspect. All right, we see that that's something that they ran with. The media ran with that to basically, come to the conclusion that they want to come to. Young black dude killed a white dude in a old sundown town. We can't let that fly. We got to give you life. We have to give you the harshest sentence possible because that was the crime. You killed a white man, a white dude, white boy. Black boy killed a white boy, but they want to say this is not a racial issue. This issue isn't about race. It's about right and wrong. Well, if it's about right and wrong, put all the evidence on the table. If it's about right and wrong, give people a fair chance to make the proper determination about what happened. If it's about right and wrong, so we can see everything that happened. All right. If it's about right and wrong, then y'all already committed the wrong from the jump by bearing false witness against this young black dude, our young black brother. It's about right and wrong. Watch this, y'all. This right here is the video of the judge who's now speaking after the fact concerning the trial. You got some thoughts, Brother Yash?
Nah, go ahead. Nah, go ahead. I'll just that's just how they do though. You know, that's how they do. Oh yeah, I was thinking if it's about right and wrong, then give us our reparations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's about right and wrong, you know. Then why are y'all trying to use a fabricated system to fabricate an outcome? You know, using y'all protection, using y'all affiliations, and it's still not working. All y'all doing is revealing who you really are, whose seed you are. And you know what's even worse? There are a lot of white people. I mean, there's a lot of our own people who are in agreement with the outcome, but there are a lot of white people who are in agreement with this outcome. Some of them not. And let me say that I have full respect for that. If you are one of those and you can acknowledge that this trial was not conducted fairly, it's not the right outcome, and that this young brother was innocent, then I can respect that fully. I don't have nothing to say against that. But to the people who are trying to be on the side of the Metcalfs and on the side of the court, it's because these types of people are evil at heart. If you agree with a lie and believe a lie, then that makes you a liar. Right? Your heart is uncircumcised. For you to jump on the side of the media from the beginning and not understand the details of the trial. The scripture even tell you that to hear a matter out before you make a conclusion, before you come to a determination, hear out the matter. Even if it's somebody you don't like, it's still not right to misjudge them or judge them unfairly if they did nothing wrong. You don't have to like black people, but in a court of law, right, you're supposed to conduct things the right way. You're not supposed to have respect to persons. And that's exactly what they showed in this trial. Fair use.
The judge who presided over the track meet stabbing trial, he just told Jobin Puneker why he kept cameras out of the courtroom and whether the jury got it right in convicting Karmelo Anthony of murder.
The Judge John Roach has always been described as no nonsense and very straightforward. He was no different during our interview this morning, days after presiding over one of the most high-profile trials in Collin County.
You could say it was a trial unlike any other, but it means more coming from the judge who's presided many trials over 20 years.
I'll take it.
Judge John Roach.
Every time.
What he said when assigned this murder 20 years.
I'll take it.
As I always said, that y'all see his hand gestures. We've seen many things come out about people who have these gestures and other gestures, and we know what's said about them. These are highly connected people, like the Bible say, spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what these people are. Look at his gestures. They don't want to show them jurors either, right? No, they're not gonna show them. They had no footage in this trial, and I already knew when I seen that. When I realized that, I already knew what they were up to. I already knew what they were up to.
Judge John Roach.
Every time.
What he said when assigned this murder trial.
Last name Roach. Last name Roach. He a roaching as judge. Look at him. Fair use.
Where a jury convicted Karmelo Anthony and sentenced him 35 years. The judge tells us they prepped for this trial 8 months out.
And I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either.
The decision trial Anthony and sentenced him 35 years. The judge tells us they prepped for this trial 8 months out.
They prepped for this trial 8 months out. I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either. You're supposed to be a judge over a trial. You're supposed to be a righteous, fair judge over the trial. And you didn't judge the situation fairly at all. You see how he just lied? You didn't keep cameras out of the courtroom to have a fair trial. You kept cameras out of the courtroom because of what you just said. Y'all prepped for this for 8 months. What you think, Brother Yash?
Yeah, 8 months of planning a railroad. You know what I'm saying? It was once the day they said all white jury, I knew it was a fix. Then, as fast as that trial was, what was it? Two days trial, third day, talk about the defense rest. I said already rest. They didn't even get started. But this is how these people live in their systems of power against us.
When I
That's how they get down, always stacked against us, and they're going to try to say it's fair and equal.
Look, when I found that out, I was like, wow, man. So the defense rests, and they didn't call any witnesses, I don't think.
No.
Hunter didn't testify at all. Neither did Karmelo. Neither one of them testified. And y'all came to a fair conclusion by withholding evidence and keeping people off the witness stand.
Yeah, but listen, in all honesty, with the little weak ass evidence, that the trial they did go through, they believe that they won. Because it was clearly cut and dry. This young man defended himself. And it was clear. I think they thought they had it won. It was that simple. But that all white jury already knew what was up. It wasn't a jury of his peers.
No, not at all. Not at all. I got an email from that guy that was in the chat, so I'm gonna email him back.
Yeah.
Once I get done with this here. But
you're talking about Hebrew Israelites the problem. No, people like him is the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're afraid now. They're afraid. And even got some of our people or people that look like us in fear. That we don't want to make these devils mad. They was mad when they was mad when they came and got us.
It's like this case is people all over the world, all over this nation knew about this case and was waiting on this trial to take place, and he didn't even have it aired.
Mm-hmm.
Like any other trial, high profile trial you see, you're always able to view the trial on C-SPAN or whatever them public news channels or whatever. They usually always have it. And I look for it, but nowhere. Like how
trials like this usually take a year or two before they even get started.
Yeah, at least 3, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he said they prepped for this for 8 months. Meaning what? They had to come up with a good way.
Yes, sir.
Look, They had to come up with a good way to get around the evidence.
We prepped for the outcome for 8 months.
It took them 8 months to do that. They had to figure out how to get around the video evidence, how to get around the witnesses, how to get around the defendant testimony. How can we get around? Okay, how can you, Brother Yash?
Yeah.
How can we make this Kool-Aid without water and sugar? You know, how can we make this turkey and cheese sandwich without the turkey?
And like I say, that I believe that this is the Most High exposing everything, though. There's going to be no excuse.
How can we believe in God without the scriptures? Right? Ham, no burger. Kool-Aid, no sugar.
How can we exist without letting them rule over us? That's their mentality.
Y'all remember movie Friday? Kool-Aid, no sugar. Ham, no burger. How can we convict this young black brother without presenting the evidence? How can we get this outcome? How can we get around everything that's obvious and substantial to come to the conclusion to get to this other conclusion?
Right.
Fair use. And the dude look kind of queer too. Why? Look at him.
35 years. The judge tells us they prepped for this trial 8 months out.
And I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either.
The decision to not allow cameras or streaming was questioned by journalists, even the public. The fight for limited public seats turned into lines as early as 2 a.m.
Yes, it was an easy decision, and I'll tell you why. My primary goal in any case is to make sure that the defendant and the prosecution gets a fair trial. Period.
We asked Judge Roach if not having cameras fed speculation and the many social media narratives.
I had to do a balance between the media's right to know and to be able to report what's going on, because I think that's extraordinarily important. I think it's important that the general public had access to the courtroom and to see what was going on.
One of those narratives.
Did you hear what he just said? You hear what he just said? He said he had to balance between the media's right to have access to the trial, right, and the public's right to see what was going on in the courtroom. But what was the balance? Where was the balance in that? What's the balance in the media's right to know, the public's right to know, and not letting them know at all? What's the balance in that?
Media's right to know and to be able. Period.
We asked Judge Roach if not having cameras fed speculation and the many social media narratives.
I had to do a balance between the media's right to know and to be able to report what's going on, because I think that's extraordinarily important. I think it's important that the.
If it's important that the media reports what's going on, then why weren't anybody allowed into the trial? They're controlling the media. They've been controlling the media from the jump, and that's why everybody think Karmelo Anthony is a brutal murderer, right? He's a brutal murderer with no track record of murdering or harming anybody. You would think he would have that on his record. A brutal For you to call somebody a brutal murderer, that means they already got a few bodies under them. All right. But this is projection. This is them projecting, because who are the brutal murderers? Who are the most violent people on the planet Earth? The very people who lie to us and tell us that we're the most violent when we're the most reactive. What we do within our demographic, that's our business. Just like y'all have y'all own problem. They have their own problems. White people kill white people. Hispanics kill Hispanics. Asians kill Asians. Blacks kill blacks. Right? Every demographic have their own thing going on. Where it tips is all these other demographics get to do it to us as well. Blacks killing black, and that's not even really happening at a large rate like people project that. But when it does happen, they feel that excuses them for doing it as well. And this is why you see people getting off for murdering children, black children. These are cowards. To shoot a child in the back, to shoot through somebody's car while a baby is in the car, when your life is not even in danger, then turn around and lie and say that they were driving towards you. Well, move your ass out the way. Move out of the way. They got videos of white dudes literally beating up police officers, and all they doing is trying to tase them. They don't reach for the gun. They don't. Police, yeah, they do carry billy clubs still, don't they? But they don't even reach for that. They reach for the taser, and they tasing this white dude, and this white dude, it's 3 cops. This white dude coming in, and he just ramming on all of them, banging on all of them, punching them in the face, beating them down. He dropped one of the police officers. He dropped 2 of them. Beating up the other one. Neither one of them pulled out the gun or nothing. Tasers. And those things don't work on everybody. That dude was pulling them things off, and going at them and punching them. Neither one of them pulled out a gun or did anything. But you suspect a sister of stealing Pampers out the store, and you shoot bullets into her car. This is why it pisses me off when our sisters take the side of white men and say that white men treat black men better. I'm not trying to make this about that. But when y'all do that, y'all got to understand you siding with the devil, and you leaving yourself vulnerable because they don't love you. White men do not love you. They use you. They know you the most beautiful and the most out of all women, right? But then they put you in a position to where you're not even projecting that. You're not even representing that. You bringing yourself down because you're trying to appeal to him. And all he want to do is shed your blood. Who do you pick in the woods, right? Asking sisters, what would you rather pick in the woods, a man or a bear, right? All I'm saying, they pick the bear. My thing is, why pick the bear when you can just pick your white man? It's both one and the same, because that bear gonna tear your ass up too. Go on, choose your white man. Fair use. This is what they do to us. And then, you see, look at the look on his face. Oh, it wasn't hard for me. What they do to us is not hard for them. They want us to respond. They waiting on us to respond. That's why I said from the beginning, understand the war that we in, and understand the weapons of our warfare. At some point, we're gonna have to come together, because we don't have enough weaponry to go against our enemies. We don't have what it takes in that regard. But we do have one advantage over them. We have the Most High on our side. And when it comes to their weaponry, they don't stand a chance against the Most High. They don't stand a chance. This is part of the warfare to keep us from calling on the Most High. That's why they want to tell us we indigenous and we Indians and this is our country and all this kind of stuff. And they're not even going against it. We already know who behind that, pushing that. It's to keep us from acknowledging who we are. It's to keep us from wanting to leave this God-forbidden land. It's to keep us from calling on the Most High. It's to keep us from repenting and acknowledging who we are, acknowledging the sins of our forefathers, and acknowledging our own sins. That's what all this is an attempt to do. They know that if we call on the Most High and he hears us, that's it for them. Oh, that death thing you're telling me about. That's what they know.
General public had access to the courtroom and to see what was going on.
One of those narratives was that the judge knew the Metcalf family intimately.
Do you have a personal relationship with the Metcalfs?
I wouldn't know Mr. Metcalf prior to this trial if he walked up to me and said hello.
Judge Roach says he was aware of all the noise outside the courthouse. It was his job to make sure it didn't affect the jury and what happened inside.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts that happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict.
The judge says Collin County should be the model for handling high-profile cases.
Or as long as I follow the law, I sleep well at night. I don't think it's my job to feed social media or the media.
We ended our interview asking about his brief interactions with the now convicted Karmelo Anthony.
He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime. And he understands today, more than any day before today, the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
In other words, he understands today more than ever that this is a white county, this is a white court, and you killed a young white boy who's well connected. Right? He said he didn't know the Metcalf family. I beg to differ. Right? Because the Metcalf father, is said to have been connected. They all got a picture together. The judge, the prosecutor, and the Metcalf father, they all got a picture together. So in other words, the crime was what I just said. All right. He comes in the name of self-defense. They say he committed a crime. Fair use.
Did.
This will be Judge Roach's last big murder trial. His service ends in 6 months, but he will preside over 1 or 2 more murder trials before then and apply these same standards.
So he got 6 months remaining on the bench. And between that 6-month period, he's saying he's going to preside over maybe 1 or 2 more trials, and then that's a wrap for him.
Nah, he done retired now.
Oh, he officially retired?
Early, yup.
Oh, so
he ain't do 1 trial. They started digging up dirt on his tail. The community started digging up dirt on him, and he retired.
Oh, okay. That's how they go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really
he talk about a fair this, a fair that. I think his was abuse or something, and the other one sexual assault. You know, these people are hypocrites, man. They come in there and tell you a way to behave and act like they're behaving that way, but that's how you know they devils. Their actions are far from anything they say.
See,
that's what it is. They the Antichrist.
Yeah,
that's who it is. By all their actions.
So he's a
They
perv.
waiting for one man because it says the man of sin. They the man of sin.
Did you see? I seen this video where this dude was saying, everybody want to say black people are violent and we responsible for 50% of crime and all that bull crap, right? He said nobody's talking about white men and how 80+% of all SA allegations and convictions are them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my thing is this: when it comes to that, you can't convince me or make me believe that you're not the most violent when you're the most perverted.
Shoot, everything we learned from them. How can we be the most violent when they are teachers?
You're the most perverted sexually, but you're not the most violent. Man, you know what? I'm finna mess y'all head up. I'm finna mess your head up, man. Hold on. I'm gonna try to find this video real quick. And if I can't, I'm gonna just tell y'all. But there's this video that talks about how the Republicans and the Democrats, they had a summit where they voted. They tried to do a vote to do away with bestiality. You heard about that?
Yeah, I think so.
What you hear about that?
Shoot. That is like they wasn't trying to do that. That's what I heard.
Huh.
They wasn't trying to do that. I mean, you know what I mean? They was trying to get rid of bestiality, but they wasn't having it.
Huh.
They love their beast. And they want to be able to love their beast.
Let me play this one right quick. This is one of them. This isn't the one exactly. This one of them. Hold on. I think StreamYard done changed a lot of stuff up, so I'm learning as I go. But it's cool. I'm cool with it. Fair use. Listen to this.
I am fed up. This is not a racial thing. I'm tired of pretending like that shit ain't happening. We're talking about Mexicans being rapists. We're talking about Mexicans being immigrants. We're talking about black people robbing and stealing and killing each other. But ain't nobody talking about white people fucking children. And it's overwhelmingly. I'm fucking tired, bro. I'm hurt. I'm fed up. That's all it is. Why are we pretending like this shit's okay? They have this domination thing, bro. They feel like equality is the end of their domination. They don't feel, they're weak men. They don't feel powerful unless people are suffering, unless women are under them. And that's the same, that's why those people go after those children. It's got nothing to do with being horny. Why men rape had nothing to do with being horny. They get horny from the idea of rape. It's the rape that makes them horny. It's the idea that they can do this to a child that turns them on.
So if it's not about, he said, and I'm quoting his words, right? He said it's not about being horny. So it's not even about how a man would desire a woman, right? Or how a woman would desire a man sexually. It's not even about that. It's about domination. It's about control. Wouldn't that equate to violence? What do you call sodomy? That's violence. Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Were those dudes horny or were they violent? You that horny to where you standing outside another man's house, a group of men standing outside another man's house to be with other men. What did they do when he told them no? Didn't they go to try to break the door down? Oh, he not gonna come out. We gonna go in there and break the door down and take. That's violence. How you the most freaky, but you ain't the most violent? Help me out, brother Yash.
But that's what it's all based on, hypocrisy. That's all it's about.
Let's see if I can find this video, man. Plush Dog brought out in court hearing a physicist charged with bestiality. That's not the one I want. But I typed in this video about the Supreme Court ending bestiality, and you should see all these white people, all these videos. I don't see not one black person. I'm trying to find this other one. I can't find it. I said I would just let y'all know. But anyway, as I'm still looking for it, in this video, they voted to end bestiality, and 10 Republicans voted not to end it. So what does that tell y'all about what's really going on? What does that tell you about what's going on? To where this is on a political level.
He's some sick individuals running the show. Sick, nasty, wicked, perverted individuals.
Like, how is that even a political issue? You see what I'm saying? They in court in court ruling over being able to have sex with a damn dog. They're making that lawful. That's why people always talking about, here we go, right here. This is the one. People talk about the law, right? The law this, the law that, right? Hold on.
It's the power dynamic. They're weak fucking men. That's why they become elitists. That's why they become these ultra billionaires, because then they can do what the fuck they want and pay people off and fuck with these kids. And nobody's saying anything. And for all you bitch ass motherfuckers, if you got over 100,000 followers and you ain't said nothing, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you ain't said nothing about what's going on today, you're a piece of fucking shit.
Well, we definitely not that over here, because we gonna let you know. I'm gonna just be real. You know, man, look, I ain't gonna say that on the internet, but here we go. Watch this, y'all. Fair use.
I don't know who needs to hear this. Oh, everybody, especially the non-melanin people, check in. And I can't, my fellow cohorts who are not black, I can't understand y'all. Like, I really can't. Like, let me just read this. Louisiana Democrats introduced a bill to ban bestiality, right? Something that, you know, really shouldn't be up for vote. Like, I mean, do we really have to vote on if this? But anyways, So there was a vote, right, to update, to modernize the laws, and you had 10 Republicans vote against it. Against it. Let's go a little deeper. Louisiana Democrats introduced a bill banning bestiality. You had 10 Republican white Caucasian Cocker Spaniel people vote against it. Cocker Spaniel. Their stated reason is that they were concerned separating the bestiality provisions and the anti-sodomy provision would weaken the state's anti-sodomy law.
All right, let me read this. It says Louisiana Democrats introduced a bill banning bestiality. 10 Republicans voted against it. Their stated reason, they were concerned that separating the bestiality provision from the anti-sodomy provision would weaken the state's anti-sodomy law. How? How? Are you saying that if people can't screw dogs, that they'll go back to screwing people? Because that's still going on. I don't even know why they have an anti-sodomy law. When you have a whole LGBT culture, at what point does the law come into place? And you don't want to ban bestiality because you don't want to weaken the anti-sodomy law? I don't understand. Do that make sense to you, Brother Yash?
Nah, but that's how it is in this sick world.
How would it weaken the anti-sodomy law to say don't sleep with the
man? Anything, they always trying to find a loophole to hold on to their wickedness.
They definitely always trying to find a hole.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
And then dress it up in the
cornhole.
Self-righteousness.
They the only ones who play cornhole. Look, as long as it's a hole, they don't care. Okay. Mm-hmm. We seen one video, me and my wife, dude then start sleeping with a damn dolphin. Look, him and the dolphin was in a relationship. The dolphin showed emotion toward him like a woman would. This dude was literally screwing this dolphin. Looked at another video of these Hispanics, right? And they had these donkeys. And babe, if you can find that, send me that real quick. They had these donkeys, and the dude was interviewing them and asking them about, how they deal with the donkeys and everything. And the Hispanic dude told him that they actually screw them donkeys. And oftentimes for them Hispanics that have them, he say usually a donkey is they first girlfriend, or how they would call it. You know how you say your first? He say for a lot of them, that'd be their first. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say when we read the scriptures, and a lot of this stuff, just because we reading it and it's not in our face, it is we make light of it, or we, that's neither here nor there. But this stuff is really going on, man. Why would the Most High have to tell you not to have sex with your mama, your sister, your daddy? Don't have sex with an animal. That's in the law. Now he said he gonna scatter you among these Gentiles, right? So guess what? It ain't far-fetched to believe that some of our own people might even be involved in this stuff. It's not far-fetched. Think about it. All right. He said, I'm going to scatter you in among the nations and you're going to forget my law. Right? But you don't even need a law to tell you that. Come on, man. Adam knew that. Adam saw them animal. He said, Lord, ain't nothing for me. Listen, he said, ain't nothing for me. So he made him a woman. So here you go. That's all he needed. Okay. Hold on.
Even though the anti-sodomy law was already unconstitutional and had been for 15 years, at the time of the vote, couldn't be enforced, still on the books. But you had 10 white Cocker Spaniel people vote yes. Here's the list of the names right here. Here's the 10 white people who voted for this. Let's look at a few of them. Ryan Getty. This is one of the guys who voted yes to bestiality. This is one of them. Neil Reisner. Another guy who voted yes to bestiality. White people. And it's not just the men. It's the white women too. Karen's up here too. Beth Mazzell voted yes to bestiality. And let's throw one more in there. John Alvarado, I didn't want to forget about you. I don't want to leave this white man out right here too. All white people who voted yes to bestiality. So let's get this straight. 10 Republicans voted against it, all white people, but yet these same people ban abortions, but think animals is where we should draw the line. How can any of y'all get up and go vote at these polls for these people? But then you start to realize you see stuff like this. Houston attorney charged with bestiality after wife allegedly discovered video acts of him with the dog. This is recent. So is this the reason why they're not wanting to modernize the laws so people can have a escape route to get out of the things that they're doing?
Look, these are people we work next to every day when we go to work. Right? At my job sometimes they have these potlucks, right? And people bring all this food and stuff. And we work as our company is like a contracted company, and we work through another company. So oftentimes whenever they're doing things like potlucks and all that, we're not officially invited to those things. However, they'll come and let us know, hey, we got food, if y'all want to eat, feel free, right? I don't never eat. And, me and the brothers around there that work there, we got these inside jokes. But some of the brothers do eat. They eat anything you put in front of them. And I'll be just looking at them. And so I told one brother the other day, I go in there in the break room, they got all this thing full of cupcakes and sweets and stuff that people made and brought to work, right? So he go in there and they tell us, hey, y'all want some cupcakes and all this? And I look, I'm like, I'm good. I always turn it down. But it's one brother who always, he jump right to it. He don't give a damn what it is. He on it. And so I told him, it was him, me, and another brother. I told him, I said, hey, man, when white folks make cupcakes, they let their dogs help them. He said, what? I say, when white people make cupcakes, they let their dogs help them. That dude looked at me and took a big ass bite out of that cupcake. That didn't faze him one bit. And they always come offering it to you, you know, like, man, I am all the way good, bro. I bring enough food with me to work. So I don't eat my coworkers' food. And I don't eat none of their food. You know, I did well when I worked at another job. I did eat when a brother he brought everybody some food, you know, and but it was all brothers. I did eat one time, but it was all brothers. You know what I mean? But definitely not that girl. You know what I mean? But fair use.
Whoo! Hey, spread the word. Get this out here. Black people, we have to separate from these animal pedo lovers. I did a whole show without cursing. Please like and subscribe or follow or just spread the word. White people, I don't know who needs to hear this.
Huh? It said, "Whose God is really their belly?" It's the you saw. Hold on, you sent the shorter one. Okay, this is a 50. Oh, it must be this one. Yeah, that's a 50. That's a 15-minute. All right, man. Watch this. Fair use. This is who we dealing with. I want to show y'all this real quick. After this, man, we're gonna close out because I'm showing you the nature of the enemy. I'm showing you the position that we in. Right? I'm showing you their weaknesses. These are the things they do. And because we don't serve the Most High, and because we don't cry out to him, and because our forefathers sinned against him, this is what we subject to. People who rule at the top, evil people ruling at the top, and this is the kind of stuff they do. All right, this one right here is more of a, it's not dealing with them, but this is the video I was talking about the donkeys. Fair use. This is a short video.
I suggested we stop to photograph an animal everyone likes. A donkey. Come on. Oh. However, my long lens saw something rather disturbing.
Come on, there's a man in the back of shot. Wait, hang on.
So I went with our
Brother, yeah, you there still? You see that? You seen that?
Shot. Wait, hang on.
So I went with our translator to talk to people in the local village.
Could you ask, was that young man having relations with that donkey, or did I missee something?
Estuvimos afuera y vimos a un muchacho haciendo algo con una burra. ¿Eso es teniendo relaciones con la burra? ¿O...
Okay.
¿Sí? They say yes. That's right.
What did he say? Normal.
No trouble at all.
Normal.
Legal.
So you all
Que ustedes todos lo hacen.
enjoy the company of donkeys.
Que si se divierten de la compañía de las burras.
Sí, claro. A veces uno no tiene por ahí el rebusca que le toca correr por ella, buscarla a ella.
So they say that basically that's the first wife, the first lover that they have.
That's nice. All the donkeys fair game? Every single donkey? Or
Se
just...
divierten en la compañía de todos sus...
So, if you read the Kibra Nagas, it tells you that during the days of Cain, that Cain's descendants mixed, I believe it was a horse. I forget what two animals they mixed, and they came out with the donkey. Right? So you got that, and then according to the law, if a man lies with a beast, what happens according to the law? These are the people that we're scattered amongst, and these are their ways. So according to the law, what happens? So they introduced it to the kids as early as 7. Yeah. I only see how at 7 you know what you're doing. No. But when you introduce to something at that age, by the time you ready to use what you got, like they say, that's your first lover. That's their first lover, an animal. They say his blood shall be upon him. Right? Not only that, what you supposed to do with the animal? What you supposed to do with the beast? That's the law. I guess that's too harsh, right? That's too harsh. Old Testament God too mean. But what's happening to you, right? Like, think about this, y'all. They are understanding now the ramifications of sex and how sex connects men and women, right? Mentally, physically, biologically, you're connecting. The Bible tells you if a man lies with a harlot, that they become one. Whatever you lie with, you becoming one with. So what's happening to a person when they go to that extent and lie with an animal? What's happening to them biologically, spiritually, right? You already against the law of the Most High. You're going against the law. And I'm dealing with all this to show how these people are perverted, right? And if you're the most perverted, how can you not be the most violent? Violence is goes hand in hand with that, because people who are sexually perverted, they're violent, they're forceful. You have to be violent, right? But I'm just showing y'all this to show you, you know, the extent that people are willing to go to.
All of them, male and female.
¿Hombres y mujeres?
No, las mujeres aparte, hombre aparte.
Okay, no. Only female.
So they don't have sex with male donkeys. That would be what, weird?
So they said down here somewhere. Oh, hello. Donkeys. Oh, we'll be photographing donkeys then, I guess. Excellent.
Right, try not to make a noise.
Sure, don't worry.
Shh. Because this one's particularly timid.
Hang on.
We're leaving. No, leave. No.
What?
We're leaving.
It seemed like a really nice little place. Jeremy, why do we have to go? Have you upset someone?
He's either committed some terrible faux pas or he's got sunstroke. He's very red in the face.
Why don't these Colombians just grow something? Surely there must be a plant of some sort that people living out in the sticks could grow here and then sell around the world.
Why won't they grow something? Because y'all asses are coming there and take it. That's why. You're probably thinking that. But in any case, man, you know, this is what's going on. These are the nations that he scattered us among. And when you look at, for instance, people who preside over these trials, those were people in high positions, political positions, residing over states. And this is their mindset. These are people who we vote for. And when I say we, ain't talking about, you know, I'm just speaking in general, but these are people who get the support of voters to make the right decisions for their lives on a day-to-day basis. And this is the kind of stuff they do. Now tell me, would you trust somebody to make a decision for you, a major decision for you, be it economically, spiritually, socially, right? Any decision that affects your way of life, your environment, would you trust somebody who's sleeping with their dog to be in that position? You would trust somebody who participates in that to make a major decision for you. And you got people of our own telling us that we need to go vote. Go out there and vote. And we don't even know what these people's personal life is. We don't know what they believe in, what they do. But that's what's happening. But when you look at this Karmelo Anthony case, y'all, you know, I said last year, and I said it before again, that I believe that this is a judgment, an instant judgment. Those two white dudes had bad reputations. There was some speculation even said that there may have been a girl involved. You know, I don't know. I heard that mentioned before, but, you know, nothing real substantial on that. But this sort of reminds me of when you think about Joseph's situation, how he was wrongfully imprisoned. You know, he did time in jail, and basically for no reason. You see what I'm saying? When you think about David's situation, David and Goliath, right? David and his brothers was giants, big stature, you know. Then you got little David, who takes on Goliath and takes him out, cuts his head off, right? Cuts his head smooth off after he kills him with the most unsuspecting weapon, the smallest weapon. Now, what was the thing used in this situation? A small utility tool. They told us it was a knife. So when you say knife, you thinking, you know, something like what I got over here. But the knives on those utility tools are no more than about a couple of inches. You know, they're not long at all. But that's what was used. When the medical examiner testified, he described like a jagged opening in his chest, not like you would see a piercing from a knife. All right, so that's what we're dealing with, y'all. This parallels that. It's a whole lot of different parallels that can be made, but ultimately, this is a setup to get our attention. You see what I'm saying? America is a bully. This nation is a bully that's been picking on us for the longest. And bullies, after a while, they want you to fight back. They want you to do something. Right? They get to picking on you for a long time, and they know you ain't gonna do nothing. One day they gonna provoke you to a point to where you're gonna have to fight back. And it's at that moment that the determination is made. We getting pushed into that position as a people because we weak, we vulnerable, we not unified. Some of us think we Israelites, some of us think we Indians. I ain't heard nobody saying we Egyptians no more. I think all the people who saying we Indians now are the ones who say we Egyptians. But this is the position that we getting pushed in. We getting pushed into a position to where we're gonna have to start using our weapons. They got guns and missiles and rockets and all kind of stuff, drones and everything, right? Those are their weapons of warfare. But our God is a man of war. And he got an innumerable amount of angels, right? Which he don't need. All he needs is one. He sent one angel to kill 185, 170,000, 180,000 Assyrian troops overnight. History records that as a plague. Now let me ask you something. What's the deadliest plague on the earth, and how long does it take for you to die from it? I guarantee you it don't take a night. This was overnight. An angel of the Most High went in and killed 180,000 soldiers. Because war back then was major. You had large armies, and he killed them all with an angel, one angel. But he has an innumerable amount of angels just like that. He has an angel of his presence. Basically, okay, I'm gonna put it like this. You know, and this is an earthly example. You know how a major boss figure, they all got a main hitman. And that hitman's job is to do their boss's bidding. If they say they want somebody gone, bam, they own it. And that's all they do. That's all they want to do. It's the boss's right-hand man. The Most High got an angel just like that. A warrior angel just like that. That all he want to do is deal with anybody who not on the side of the Most High. When Mashiach was crucified, that same angel wanted to bring destruction. He wanted to destroy the whole earth in that moment. But he had to hold him back. Say, no, don't do it yet. The record describes the angel's countenance in that moment. And I'm going to just say that he was pissed. Usually a hitman, they not pissed off or mad or nothing. They just cool about it. It's just in their nature to do what they do. This angel was pissed. He was upset. Most High had to hold him back. That's what we got on our side, y'all. But you know what? Most people don't even know that because we limited in what we know in terms of our information. And if you tell people that, they'll tell you, oh, that ain't the scriptures. The white man made that up. The Catholic Church made that up. So we can't even embrace our records and the benefit of our records. because we too distracted. This is why the Most High is gonna have to do something miraculous. All right, he's gonna have to do something miraculous. You want y'all want to talk about miracles? That's the miracle, y'all. Him saving us out of this condition, even though we not united, we don't see things eye to eye, we ain't on one accord. That's why it's that bad with our people, to where he gonna even deliver the rebels. I mean, I gotta move y'all over here. And y'all messed up condition, I'm gonna move y'all over here, and then I'm gonna let the world go through what they going through, and then I'm gonna deal with y'all over here. Whoever's still in rebellion at that moment, once we deliver, they deserve to go. We got to see by now that this is the Most High's hand at work. I told y'all, it's going to get worse and worse. We finna start seeing some stuff. Because these people are provoking the Most High now. That's one of the things he hate, is a unjust balance. When talk about the 7 things that he hate, what happened in this trial? That was unjust. And it was unbalanced. He said they wanted to have a fair trial with no bias. When that was the main ingredient, with you not having any black people on the jury, with you not allowing the court to be televised, the trial to be televised. That's grounds for judgment right there alone in the Most High's court. That's why we keep saying salvation is only for our people, because who need it? They don't need it. Who's doing this stuff to them? Why are we giving what belongs to us to them when all they doing is killing us and hating on us and jealous of us because we are the Most High's people in the first place? Nobody said you gotta do something or wear hate on your sleeve or even hate them, because we don't hate them. That's why the scriptures say, for our love, they've given us hatred. I'm tired of people saying we got hate in our heart and all this kind of stuff. Where is the fruit of that if that's the case? Whatever's in your heart is going to manifest outwardly. So where is the fruit of our hatred towards them? What have we done to them? That's why I don't buy that. Don't tell me that. Oh, you got hatred in your heart. You have blindness in your mind. You blind if you giving your salvation to these people. You blind if you giving your inheritance away to these people. That's not of the Most High. That's why he even called Peter. He said, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Peter didn't want Mashiach to die, but he kept it in perspective. And that's what I'm telling these people and anybody who sides with him. Get thee behind me, Satan. We got to understand, man, it's about us and us alone. I'm not worrying about nobody else, and we need to stop doing that. We need to quit worrying about Mexicans, Indians, Native. We need to quit worrying about all of them. If you want to tell me though, Mexicans and Indians are Israelites, cool. Cool. I don't agree with it, cool. But what do we see as a result of that? How does that help us? How is it helping them? Where's the benefit of saying that they are people? How are they showing that they are our people? Every one of those groups, the Hispanics and the Indians, are against us being reparated in this nation for what happened to our ancestors. Everybody think they have a say on what happened to us and our people. And I'm saying that we have our grievance. Y'all have y'all grievance. They have their grievances. We're not against them and whatever their grievances are. And we're not going to stand in the way of that. However, they always stand in the way of when we go and stand up for what belongs to us. We have some very bright, intelligent, qualified, certified people who go before Congress, go before the Supreme Court, go before all these different organizations, and they fight for our reparations. They fight for what belongs to us. And they get denied on a day-to-day basis. Just like James 5 say, the wages of the laborers who reap down your fields, which you held back by fraud. They're committing fraud by keeping back what belongs to us. Heard a brother say that the who was it? They said that if it wasn't for white racism and black suppression, this nation would be at least $5 trillion richer. All right. If it wasn't for their hatred and racism against us, this nation would be $5 to $10 trillion richer. See, I wonder why the Bible say we would have healed Babylon, but Babylon won't be healed. In other words, we so messed up as a people. The Most High is enduring with the vessels fitted for destruction. He's enduring with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. That's how messed up we are. And they refuse to take one step in making it right. Now, if any states fund black reparations, they won't get any state funding. This is how they move. When we gonna start crying out? When we gonna get tired of being here? And all I'm saying, even I ain't calling for no, for everybody to come on and let's do it live. No, we don't got to do that. Do it to yourself. Everybody can agree on a certain time throughout the day. And no matter where you are at that time, cry out in your heart to the Most High. You at work sitting at your desk, take 10, 20 seconds to acknowledge the Most High and cry out to him in your heart. Ain't nobody got to know what you're doing. That's the unified front. Because the Most High searched the heart. And if we can start there, guess what that'll grow and materialize into? Everybody, 12 noon, no matter where you are, what you're doing, just acknowledge the Most High in your heart. Acknowledge our deliverance. Acknowledge your sins and the sins of our ancestors. You don't have to do it openly. We ain't got to make no spectacle of it. They ain't got to know what we doing. They might be listening now, but what that mean? How is that going to stop you from praying in your heart to the Most High at a certain time in the day? If we all agree to that. I'm on the job, right? But 12 noon come, bam, in my heart, Most High, I thank you. I'm praying for my deliverance. I'm praying for my people. I repent of my sins and the sins of my forefathers. And we praying for our deliverance. Hallelujah. I praise the Most High. Going by my day. That's 10, 15 seconds right there. Then when we can come together in fellowship, we make the most of that. But that's the mind. That's how we got to start moving, y'all. We got to start moving that way. Because that's our only defense. That's our only means of defense at this point. I ain't telling nobody not to be ready for whatever on the other end. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do, but we not depending on that. That's our last resort. Because guess what? He gonna come with some of that too. But we gotta be on one accord, man. That's what I'm looking for. I think this case is a step in really making that happen. Because it's revealing a lot about what they really all about and how racist they really are, while lying and telling us we got victim mentality. We cry out about the racism and injustice. They tell us we got a victim mentality of people who they've been victimizing for the past 400 years. You take my shit and you go and establish something for yourself with what's mine, then you turn around and give me an opportunity to compete for a position in the kingdom that you built with what was mine. And we call that fair. We call that equal. We lying on the Most High. That's what we doing. Because the Most High ain't sent us here to be equal. We read what he sent us here for. Until we realize that, we're going to keep getting hit in the head with it. I don't even worry about it no more. Yeah, I'm working a job now where you know, y'all know how white folks are, man. Y'all know how they are. You got to swallow your pride and just remember what the scriptures say. That's what gets me through the day when I'm at work or whatever I'm doing. I barely talk to people when I'm at work because I ain't there to socialize and have a good time. I don't like y'all. I don't like this place. But I'm not, you know, I'm not rude or disrespectful, but I'm just not open with people like that on the job. If you come talk to me, cool, we small talk or whatever, but I ain't finna come here. I ain't got nothing to say to you or nobody. People on the job are two-faced, they snakes. They just hired a brother not too long ago, right? Old school brother. Brought him in, you know, and he wasn't permanent just yet. You know, they hired him as a temp or whatever. Old school dude, and he like in his late 60s. You know, met him, talked with him, whatever, real cool guy. You know, I show back up to work the next week, and he comes in on his shift that he's on, and they turn him around at the door. One of the supervisors turn him around at the door. They didn't let the dude go. Come to find out, this old school brother, he got the small talking with one of the employees at the other company, because he's an older guy too. He's an older white guy who I don't trust him. He a snake, but he got the small talking with him, telling this white dude, you know, that man, the job, you know, they not really paying me a lot at this job. You know, he just basically venting to the white dude about what's going on. White dude go back and tell my ops manager what this old school brother done told him. And as a result, now they done let the brother go. Even though he didn't have the amount of absences and tardies that it take to be let go, he let him go anyway. Because of what this white dude came and told him. Because my ops manager a white guy. This is the kind of shit they do. So you can't even, you know, you can't even keep it real and vent to people and talk to people. And that's why I don't. Lady gonna ask me the other day, you got babies? I just looked at the bitch like, what you need to know that for? I'm asking me about my life. The only people who know I got children like that are like my superiors, because at times, you know, you got kids, family, you got to take care of things. I don't talk to people about my family and my kids and all that. The hell you need to know about my kids for? You got kids? I'm a 40-year-old man. shouldn't you assume I got some babies? Shouldn't you assume I got a bunch of baby mamas? Ain't that what y'all think about us? Yeah, you asking me I got babies for? Yeah, I got them in my nutsack right now. What you need to know that for? But that's how I feel about these people. Because when it's all said and done, man, they don't give a damn about us. I'm going to tell you. I done had to swallow my pride too long at this place. But that's how the system is. But anyway, man, this going to be an ongoing thing. More going to keep coming out for sure, you know. And I'm just praying for my people, man. For real, I'm like Moses. You know, I'm at that point. I told my wife some things, man. I'm going to have to gird up, you know, because ain't no telling what's going on out here, man. I pray, I thank the Most High. You know, I've been at peace for the most part, you know. He said he'll give you peace among your enemies, you know what I'm saying? Cause them to be at peace with you. And I've been fortunate enough to have that, you know, because I am a peaceful guy, man. I know the truth, you know what I'm saying? I keep it real, but, you know, I'm peaceful. I don't want no problems, you know, and I treat people with respect. I do. But that's all that's warranted, you know what I'm saying? The Bible say, oh no man, nothing but to love one another. So I ain't got nothing but love for you. But I'm finna get off of here, man. All praise to the Most High. You know, I'm praying for my young brother, Karmelo. I pray they, you know, treat him well, treat him with respect, treat him like a young prince in there, man. You know, usually in prison, you know, from my understanding, they deal with you based on your backdrop, you know. That's why you see people always ask what you in here for, you know. I guess that determines how people deal with you. He ain't in there on no false pretenses, no selling no dope, no robbing, nothing like that. It's an unfortunate situation. You feel me? He couldn't run. What do you do when you can't run? Listen, the worst kind of person to be encountering is a person that's scared of you. See? Because people, not everybody handle fear the same. You know, we all get that in certain moments. We feel that emotion, that feeling, you know, but everybody don't handle it the same. You know, some people, they get afraid, they try to run away, or they ball up. Some people get afraid and they get to doing whatever just to get out of the situation. You know, because they think about getting to the next day, getting to the next moment, getting out of that, you know, mixing it up so you're not worrying about nothing else. And that's the situation he was in. Out of fear, I believe he, you know, probably in his heart cried out to the Most High, God help me, you know. Man, that's how God helped, man. You ask God to help, that's how he helped. God is a God of war. How many people you seen go to war in the ancient times and somebody didn't die? That's what war is about. Fight to the death. All right, once this is over, we ain't got to worry about this no more. Ever again. See? That's the God we serve, y'all. That's the God we're about to get to meet and get to know. Because he said, this is how the nation's going to know him, through judgment. So let's get ready, y'all. All praise to the Most High. I want to thank y'all for your time. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. T.I.R. Truth is Racist, talk show and fellowship, as well as Resurrecting the Truth. Subscribe to both channels. Stay in the loop. I'm going to definitely be going live more, trying to work on that. But in any case, make sure y'all share this. Keep the conversation going. I don't know if brother y'all still up or not. I've been talking a lot. But it is late. Brothers and sisters got to go to work tomorrow, so I understand that. I'm off tomorrow, so that's why I'm acting like I don't know what to do. I'll go in later in the week, but I'm going to be off tomorrow. But, yeah, man, keep the brother in prayer. Let's keep in mind also the most important thing, the weapons of our warfare. We need to fight every day. If you Israelite, you need to be fighting every day, like I told you. A certain time in the day. If you can go deeper and harder than that, do that. If you can fast, if you can pray for an hour, do that. But let's do what we can, to start inching toward that. And we know that all of our people are not on one accord, but start trying to seek out people that, you see, okay, he got a good head on his shoulders. I could probably chop it up with him or her or whatever. Look for people like that. On your job, you got to kind of play it a certain way, but just be that person that's looking for your people, looking out for your people in that kind of way, in that regard. People that sit down and have an ear to hear. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in contention with your people, not in these times. You know what I'm saying? Because Brother Yah said earlier, in spite of us not being on one accord, we're unified in the sense that we see what's happening. And we've been seeing it. We've been seeing it. It's just that for many decades, it's been swept under the rug. And the rug right now is in the sky. Ain't no more room under the rug. The rug not even on the floor in the house no more. The rug done bust up through the damn roof. And it's climbing up through the sky. And we steady sweeping stuff under it. Sweeping racism. All these social issues we dealing with that's keeping us from coming together. We sweeping it under the rug. And we ain't realized the rug done bust through the damn ceiling. We done created a monument with all of our undealt with issues and problems in this society. Racism being the main thing. But it's not, if we think about it, it's not to be dealt with. That's the curse that's on us. That's the weapon that they use against us. Racism. Superiority. That's what it's all about. When we get in our kingdom, then the table's gonna turn. Then it's gonna be about our superiority and what's best for us and how they can benefit our system, how they can benefit our growth, our country, our lands, and our businesses. They did it to us. But yeah, man. Shout out to the brothers. Brother Yash, you sleep? You still there? Probably knocked out. It's cool. Good to see the brothers, man. Shout out to Brother Kadar, Brother Josiah, Brother D, and all the other brothers. I hadn't heard from Brother D in a minute. But shout out to them. Like I said, make sure y'all like and subscribe. We're going to definitely be talking more about this and other things pertaining to our people. So, make sure y'all hit the notification bell too. If you're new to the channel, make sure you do that. Like the video, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? TrueEbry.com. I don't have it up right now. I'm getting ready to make some changes to the site. And some of the payment options and everything. I got to work with that. But we're working on that, and that'll be back. So, you know, I want to appreciate everybody who supports that. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's all, man. But I'm going to go ahead and shut down. All praise to the Most High. Y'all get some rest. I'm going to pray for safety, peace, and safety. Peace, safety, and provision for all of our people. Trusting in the Most High. All praise to the Most High, man. See y'all on the next one. Shalom.